Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Anyway, we are rolling. This is the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, Anthony Lionheart Smith. Brian, stay on the screen. And Harrington, that's quite the shirt. It's quite the shirt you got there, buddy. Looking good. Anthony has a job to do. He has a big fight this weekend. So don't be offended, Harrington, to fill in for his absence, which we know you do a fantastic job, but we have got a stacked show. We have the champ, Aljamain Sterling. We have the contender, Sugar Sean O'Malley. We have the bare knuckle sensation, Mike Platinum Perry.
My dude.
And potentially Anthony Smith as well is going to give us a quick FaceTime if he can. Do you want to just shoot him a text, boys? Just to remind him.
Sure.
And see, because he did say. Now, before Aljo jumps on, because you've done a tremendous job on the notes as always, lads. Harrington, should I say? And Brian.
No, to be clear, you're not slighting me by saying you're replacing me with Aljo, Sugar Sean, and Mike Perry. If that's what it takes to replace me, I'm doing pretty good.
You're happy with it. Okay, all right. No. They are joining, so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. How are you, boys? We're gonna talk about this real quick. The one chip challenge. Two things before Aljo jumps on. I want to talk about the one chip challenge. We're doing it. We didn't do it last week, but there it is. That scares me. What's the 1,000? Give me some details on the chip.
It's like 1 million Scoville units or something. I don't know what that is in dollars, but I'm sure it's fucking quite a bit.
Yeah, that scares the crap out of me. So we didn't want to do it when Anthony has a fight.
So
okay,
it comes fully isolated, so nobody accidentally touches it.
Yeah, so no like dipping it in milk before we do it. I want to see everyone rip them open. So next week we're going to do that. As long as, praise the Lord, that Anthony does well and gets the job done and isn't black and blue. If he is black and blue, we're not going to subject him to 1,000 chili peppers. Do you know what I mean? We'll do that the week after. So that's happening. So stay tuned. And then also this Saturday, this trio right here, and I'm going to try and get a guest fighter on as well, someone else to join us. So there'll be 4 of us. We will be doing a live fight companion, watching Anthony Smith's fights, some of the prelims, the main card probably. So we'll be live. So keep an eye out on that. We will schedule that today. It will be up there, Brian, right?
Yeah. I have the artwork for it already. So
by the time this goes live, it will be there. So click a little reminder and come and join the BYM fun on Saturday, because I don't know about you guys, I'm nervous.
I mean, I don't know if nervous is the right thing. I'm anxious. You know what I mean? I think for sure, this is going to go Anthony's way, but who knows? Oh, here we go.
What's up, man?
A 10-minute look. See, that's why Aljamain Sterling's a real champ. Because not only is he on time, he's early. The man is early. What a guy.
I didn't know if this link was even going to work this early.
Well, believe it or not, this little rinky-dink show, Brian sends out a proper link. How are you, buddy? You well?
I'm good. Just a little swollen still, man. When you kick people as much as I do, you it's the worst. It's like it's all good in theory until after the fight.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was literally going to say that you're looking good. You don't look like you went through 5 rounds at the weekend with one of the greatest bantamweights, or one of the greatest that we've seen in the lighter weight divisions. You don't have a mark on you, but let's have a look at the shin bones.
Oh, I don't know if you want to see that. It's like super bloated. I'm super bloated, my ankles, everything.
Well, at least you did go 5 rounds. I'm super bloated at the minute, but I've got no excuse. That's just too much beer.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a little beer.
But the last time I saw you, where was it? Kansas? Was it Kansas or San Antonio? It was San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Right? Yeah, I was indulging in a couple of drinks at that time, but you were obviously preparing for the fight, correct?
Yeah, so I didn't drink at all. I didn't drink since the stem cells, which was like the first week of February. Yeah, because I went to the bioaccelerator thing and tried to just do it the right way.
And that's down in Colombia, right?
Yeah.
How was that? Because stem cells is, and did you feel any benefits? Because the reason I'm asking that, and obviously we're going to talk about your fight in just a second, because there's a lot to talk about there and what's next, etc.
Are we on right now?
Oh yeah, we are rolling, shit. Brother.
Oh, I didn't know.
Going. This is how it is. We're rolling with the punches. Stem cells. Did you see any benefit from that? Because I've heard mixed results, and I have a broken back in 2 places, and I wanted to try stem cells, and the doctor that I saw said, that's a waste of time. But everyone else says, no, Mike, these work. So what was your experience, Aljo?
So far, so good. It's definitely a lot better with the pain. The only thing I will say is it's not 100%, but I also didn't take the full recommended time off that they asked me to. I told them I had to fight, and I got to make money. So they said, just listen to your body. If something starts to hurt, try to back off of it. I mean, there were some days that I felt like I was overusing it a little bit with some of the grappling sessions, because it was pretty grappling intense with the training session, getting ready for that fight. So other than that, I feel good. I think now, and I followed the diet for about a month. It's hard to do no sugar. It's hard to do completely no red meats. That's going to give you, that's going to be like an anti-inflammatory diet. So the only thing I could really eat, they recommended just fish and chicken, which was really hard for me to just stick by that. So I did.
So when you have the stem cells, there's a certain diet, a certain protocol that you have to follow to get maximized results.
Exactly. So it was tough. I mean, doing the PT stuff, and I don't eat the cleanest all the time. So it was a bit of a challenge for me because I don't like greens. That's like one of the hardest things for me to eat. But I think I did relatively okay, and I can still see results up to a year. So I still got another, maybe like 6.5 months.
I'm going to reach out to those guys at BioAccelerator. I'm going to reach out because we did have a little bit of dialogue before. So I'll reach out. Anyway, that's not what we want to talk about. We want to talk about that stunning performance because it really was, Aljamain. And, you know that there's people out there that have talked a bit of crap. You know, that there's been a lot of haters, for want of a better word, on your career. Oh, yeah. And I saw you say it this week. People cannot deny you anymore. I mean, what you just did at the weekend was phenomenal. Congratulations on an amazing fight. The thing that impressed me the most, I mean, of course, all the skill that was on display was incredible. But it's the fact you took the fight right to him, right from the opening bell. You wasn't playing it safe. You weren't thinking, I'm not going to kick because he might catch them. You know, you weren't trying to accentuate your reach advantage and stay on the outside and dance around. You just went right at this man, say, hey, I'm going to fight you. I believe in myself. I'm the better guy. And ultimately you were. I mean, just talk to me about it from your perspective, because it really was an impressive fight. I mean, honestly, I thought the fight was close, but at the same time, I knew we both knew in our minds, like, who was winning the fight, who was getting, like, the better of each other in there. And everything I said it had some validity. You know, I think he was being very dismissive of me, and I couldn't tell if that was just mental warfare to try to get me to doubt myself. And I will admit, there was some parts that were like, am I the delusional one here, thinking that I can do what I think I can do to him based on what I'm seeing in training? And thankfully, I'm pretty bulletproof, man, up there. You know, for 13 months, I got ridiculed by everybody in the entire world with the Piotr Jan fight. And I got to shut him up. I got to shut them all up as well. And, I mean, we all know these split decision wins. Like, we look at the Sandhagen versus Chito Vera. And I know that's your boy, but in what universe is that ever a split decision? You know what I mean? You're right. People can say, like, whatever they want. Oh, you're winning all these fights very close. I'm like, dude, it's not my fault. It's like they just don't want me to win. And I'm not saying the judges have something against me, but I think there's a little bit of a bias based on what I'm doing and what I think and the interpretation of the rule set are for judging fights. So with that said, like, going into the fight, I knew I had the skills to beat the guy. I knew I could take him down, and I knew I could hold him down. I wish I was able to get a hold of him a little bit earlier, but there was a little bit of hesitancy because I think he played a good job of making adjustments to my adjustments. And it was a high-level chess match, and I think that was a tough part. But, you know, Henry's who he says he is, and I think he brought a really tough game, a real hard challenge to figure out. But thankfully, we did enough in the training room that we were able to get the job done in the fight. Listen, you absolutely won the fight, in my opinion. I know Henry put a video up and he was watching it in his hotel room in the middle of the night with his girlfriend and things like that. And listen,
how weird was that? How weird? I'm like, Henry, I'm like, is she your coach? I mean, hey man,
she was saying you shouldn't have done that at one point and you shouldn't have done this.
And I mean, I'm not saying she was wrong, but it was just awkward to have that piece out there like that. Cause then I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, I could only imagine putting out a video with Rebecca and her telling me like what I could have done better. I'm just like, baby, you've never even trained. Like, I know
hold on. Is your partner called Rebecca?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that your wife's name?
Mine. I thought you were talking about my wife.
No, that's funny. No.
That is funny. And we'll talk about her in a minute because I know she's been by your side right from day one, correct?
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal. Behind every great man, there's a great woman, and the rest of it. Let's be honest. Was there any time in the fight that you were hurt because he was loading up, he was swinging, and I think that was kind of telegraphing some of his punches. And listen, he did a lot of good things as well. As you know, it was a close fight, but I had you winning it clear. But it was competitive. Was there any times that you were rocked or hurt in the fight?
No, not at all. And I was kind of annoyed with like Dominic Cruz and his breakdown of my style because he's 100% right. Like those positions where people are like, oh, you're playing on your knees. I'm like, I'm not playing on my knees. I'm being very strategic about how I get back to my feet. I'm not going to just stand up and get blasted in the face. And that's exactly what Henry said in his videos as well. I shouldn't have just hung out there. I wanted to hurt him, and I was waiting for him to come up, and I'm like, get the F up, dude, get up. But it's a strategy. You don't just get up and walk into something. And then when you do, there was like 2 times where he almost kneed me in the face because I just got up like right away instead of taking my time, trying to get his hands off my head so I can see where I'm going. And I'm just resting. I'm literally just resting and taking my time while he's squeezing his arms around me, not doing anything. And we're in a stalemate position, like wrestling. In a wrestling match, that's what happens when 2 guys are in a position in a takedown situation and nothing is happening for a certain amount of time, usually about 10, 15 seconds. The ref blows the whistle and restarts the position because it's a stalemate. No guys advancing position and nothing's going to happen. So that was what was happening. Henry needed to disengage. And when he did disengage, I got back up to my feet and we just resumed exactly where we were leaving off. So that's kind of the game. And I think he wrestled more than he probably should have. And I think I just outsmarted him in those positions.
Regarding, because Ray Longo did say, I think it was end of round 4, enough of this on 0-4 stuff. Sarah, pardon me. But I agree with you because I was arguing your case. I do a show on BT Sport and one of the guys on there, had it for Cejudo. And he said, you don't win a fight by being on your knees. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He was pushing the pace. He was trying to go for takedowns. Not only that, he outstruck him as well as taking him down 4 times. I said, the reason he was on the knees is because he was shooting for takedowns and Henry had good takedown defense. But you don't win a fight by defending. We know that what you were doing was trying to be aggressive, and I'm not kissing your ass because you're on here. That's literally what I was saying. Has it annoyed you? Any of the talk that Henry should have won and all the rest of it, or at this point is it water off a duck's back because you truly know that you won the fight, so you couldn't care less?
I couldn't care less, man. Like I know I won the fight. He knows I won the fight, and I think he's looking for validation from other people to tell him and make him feel like he won the fight. And he even said it. I like that he was honorable in his defeat at the press conference and acknowledged that if people really thought I won, then I should have had the belt. And he didn't. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, the 3 people that mattered the most, even though it could be unanimous across the world, they said, I won the fight. I won the fight. And I mean, we've seen some pretty bad decisions where clearly like a Patty the Batty, Jared Gordon situation. And it was no Patty the Batty, Jared Gordon situation. I think everybody, for the most part, at home had me winning the fight. And even after the final bell sounded, it was like, dude, I think we both could look at each other and know like who won the fight. Like I landed way more strikes than you. I took you down more times. And I think I landed the more devastating strikes. Like even the elbow at the end of that first round, look at his face, look at mine. I busted up his legs. Like, yeah, my legs are swollen from kicking him. And my calf is a little swollen from him. He landed some solid kicks as well. But I think all in all, I beat him up a lot more than he beat me up. And I think
in the first round, I remember sitting there watching it because obviously we all know about the wrestling accolades of Cejudo. That's what he's known for. That's his best weapon.
Oh yeah,
and
he's
in the first round.
Medalist.
Yeah. He never mentions it though. He never mentions it. Listen, I like Henry, so I'm having a bit of fun. So I'm not like two-faced, you know. Yeah. He's actually when you get away from all the king of cringe showman stuff, he's actually a solid dude. So I like him. Yeah. But in that first round when I was watching, and when you first engaged in that clinch, I think it was a body lock and he took you down. I was like, oh man, see, there's the difference. But then you got back up and then you took him down and then you took his back. Talk to me about the emotions. What was going through your head when he did take you down? Were you like, shit, he is that good? You know, I mean, just be real, be honest.
No, it was, I give him credit. I tip my hat off to him because he timed it perfectly as I think I threw a left hook and then I turned around, or I did like a fake knee and then I stepped in. And then as I turned in, he ducked his head and he locked his hands. And this was the exact position we worked on. Like if him being short and stumpy, if he locks his hands, he's going to be really strong there just with his wrestling accolades and him knowing what to do in that position. There's wrestling strength and then there's like strength in the weight room. I knew he was going to be wrestling strong. When he gets that clinch, he's going to be strong there. And that's exactly what he was. So when he bit down and he stepped behind my leg and took me down, I was annoyed, definitely annoyed. I was like, this little freaking Goomba took me down way too early and I'm kind of annoyed. So now I need to get the hell up and gas pedal him because I can't let him get ahead on the scorecards this early in the fight. I need to set the tone of this fight. And that's what I was able to do. Once I was able to get the butterfly guard in, he pulled me away from the cage, which was he probably thought that was better for him, but it was honestly better for me because it gave me more room to work and get the butterfly hooks in, elevate him a little bit. And he did no damage with any of his takedowns, like literally no damage whatsoever. So with that being said, I knew I had to get the takedown back and I knew I could take him down with my own body lock. And that's what I did. I got him back down and I had to just remind this guy like, hey, you're in for a fight. All that talking you did, all that Olympic gold medal. Like I said, I'm going to take that gold medal and I'm going to shove it right up your ass. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, you did. And once again, proved to the world that you are the greatest bantamweight. You brought Dominic Cruz up before. Did you see what he said, though? He did have something good to say about it. He said that I'm glad that Aljamain won because we're going to have a proper champion, a guy that's going to defend against all the contenders in the division. What did you think of that? Because Dominic Cruz is, he's a legend in the sport.
Dom is the man. What I said earlier is not like a snipe at him or whatsoever. I was just like, damn, Dom.
Of course. No, of course.
Yeah, like you're giving away my secret.
No. The sniper. Dom deserves all the little slaps and snaps and whatever because he's a little shit, but I love him like my little brother.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, he's a smart dude, man. He wasn't a former world champion for no reason. He's a very good analyst. He knows what he's looking at. I got the opportunity to train with him and pick his brain as well. And he knows what he's looking at. He knows how everything is working and what the purpose is behind certain stuff. And it kind of reminded me when he said, I think Conor's trying to rest here with Khabib. And then Joe Rogan cuts him off. He goes, I don't think he's resting at all. I think he's just getting smashed. And there's a bit of both where they're both correct. Because, yeah, Conor is resting conserving energy because there's nothing he could do. And then Khabib is trying to smash him where he can smash him. So it's like a little bit of a both. And that's the game of inches that people have to try to understand. Yeah. But you don't really know unless you know. You know what I mean? But I was very appreciative of Dom's compliments. And, yeah, man, he's right. Like, there is something to be said about taking yourself out the testing pool, taking yourself away from competition while everyone fights each other, beats each other up. And then you just jump back and say, hey, guys, I'm back. Can I cut the line? Yeah. I waited this whole time for 2, 3, 4 years. I finally get to the front of the line and then you just cut the line. There's something a little bit annoying about that. And don't get me wrong, I respect Henry's resume, but there's something a little disingenuous about that as a champion. And I've done it the hard way and I've done it the right way. And I plan to continue to do so.
No, you certainly have done it the right way. And you have done it the hard way as well. I was just looking at your record right there as you were talking. 2016 and 17, that's when you have got those losses appeared, the only ones on your record. Since then, I think it's a 9-fight win streak that you're on. You're now the champion of the world. You're dominating the division. What changed What changed? I mean, don't get me wrong, you were an accomplished fighter already and you're fighting the best people in the world. That happens, dude. I've got 9 losses on my record, so there's no shade. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think was the mindset or what clicked or what changed to where you just became the version of you that you are today?
What clicked, I think it's more so after the knockout loss was just trusting that, hey man, being knocked out is not as bad as people make it out to be. Like it does suck because obviously you're like, damn, I got knocked out in front of all my friends and family. Yeah, that does suck. But I think when you get comfortable,
it's embarrassing more than anything.
Yeah, but it's like that unknown. And I think for such a long time, I was so hesitant to compete and mix it up like a fight, because I was nervous of what it might feel like to get hit cleanly to the face. And then after that, I was kind of like, well, there goes that. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And it's I was able to kind of like let my guard down a little bit and get a little bit more comfortable, get a little bit more loose in the cage and be more of me than what I'm doing in the training sessions. Like you want to open up that you do, because in my sparring sessions, man, I do a lot more than what I do in the fight. And it's also because I'm like trial and error. So I'm trying to see what's working. Yeah. But then in the fight, you kind of take a little less risk because you don't want to be as risky where you're trying to figure something out in real time and then you get caught. And that could be the short night. So you don't want that, but you got to have a balance, entertainment, but at the same time being goal driven to get the job done and get the win.
It's always the way, isn't it? Because I used to say, if I could just fight in the octagon, the way that I fight in the goddamn gym, I will be the champ like that. Do you know what I mean? But of course, on the night, you got the pressure, you got the nerves, you got the crowd, you got all the rest of it. And we all know about gym fighters all over the world being fantastic, but can't put it together on the night. So yeah, no, I totally hear you, man. Totally hear you. I want to talk about O'Malley and I want to talk about Merab. Definitely, because that shit was hilarious. But you mentioned, is it your fiance or your girlfriend, Rebecca?
Yeah, my fiance, Rebecca.
Your fiance. I think it was a post on Instagram the other day or somewhere where you said, she's been by your side right from day one. And I'm very lucky that I've got the same thing as well. And it changes your life having someone that's, I'm sure a lot of people think, your lady's a very pretty girl, probably thinks, since you become the champion and you've got money and some fame now that all of a sudden you've got this girl. It's like, no, she's been there since fucking day one. What has it been like to have that kind of rock in your life?
She's amazing, man. I really do. Like, I probably don't tell her enough how much I appreciate her. But I truly do, man. She makes my life a lot easier, and having someone you could kind of confide in and trust to open up with. I'm a very emotional guy, like behind the scenes. Like I grew up with not a lot of love growing up, and I feel like it made me very, I don't want to say awkward, but very just different with the way I handle things with bad situations. I kind of tend to more so blow up than anything. And she's definitely helped me find like a happier place. Like, I feel like I would hide behind jokes and being silly and whatnot. But really, I was more of an angry kid because my parents were like, it was just a shit show at home growing up, and all the fighting and things like that. So having her around, she really helped mellow me out, almost like I don't want to say a shrink, but someone for me to like really just be myself with and open up and express a lot of things that bother me and whatnot. And she's very helpful when it comes to preparing as well. Like anything that I need, she'll go out of her way for me, even when she's tired and exhausted from work. Like she'll work long hours and still come home and still cater to me, And sometimes I'm like, I don't know how she does it. I know I'm exhausted and I had a tough day, but I'm not doing as much in the sense of like working the long hours, being up early in the morning and things like that, making sure I have food and things like that still. So she's a very good woman, man. So I'm blessed in that regards. And she's got a great personality. She lights up the room whenever she goes somewhere and people get to meet her. So definitely a gem. And I probably cause her more headaches than I probably should have over the years. And thankfully we're still together and she stuck by me. And because she could have easily not, I'd probably given her all the reasons in the world not to. And I just think we just have a really good connection with each other that even through that, we've been able to find our way back to each other. You know, there's no perfect relationship.
No.
But thankfully for us, we I feel like we have less of those than less. I just think we have a lot less of that, you know, the bumping of heads kind of thing. And of course, you know better than I do, man. Like better than anyone else with this spotlight, being an athlete, people just kind of just assume you're just rich all the time. Even when you're one fight in the UFC, they just assume you're rich. They assume you have all these things and perks and whatnot. And when you start to win and you do a little bit better, you know, those things start to go up a little bit more. So they get a little bit amplified. And thankfully, I didn't really I don't think so in my perspective. I don't think I let it get to my head where it had me like doing too many reckless things and like forgetting about her and things like that. So she's been a very big part of the journey, and I'm like I said, I'm blessed to have her. You know, she's smart. She does the right things. She treats me right. She can cook. She's very hygienic, which is a big thing for me. Yeah, there's a lot of custy and dusty people out there, and she does a really
you haven't met Brian and Harrington, my producers on this show. My word, they are the epitome of crusty and dusty.
Oh man, yeah.
Rude.
Yeah, sorry. I see you saw that. No, you're absolutely right. And you know, to hear you saying those things, I mean, so much of it resonates with me. It's the same kind of thing. And I think, to be honest, a lot of fighters are kind of the same, you know. And I was lucky enough, as you were, to meet somebody. And it's funny you used the word shrink, you know, because she's like, it's been subconscious therapy for me over years, because I was wild. I had a crazy temper. I had some shitty circumstances, you know what I'm saying? And but she came from a great family, and she loved me for who I was, even though there was all this shit going on here. Do you know what I mean? She could see the real version of me that would sometimes pop my head up, but then be surrounded by all this other nonsense. But she could see through all that and helped me to become me. So yeah, a lot of what you're saying sounds very familiar.
Yeah, because I'm from a family of 20, man. So I got 20 plus siblings. It's a lot of us.
Whoa. 20.
Yeah. So there's a lot of chaos just between the mixed families and the baby mothers and marriage, divorces, and, you know, so like you said, she comes from a very good family as well. And to have to go deal with me, I'm surprised we even work. Like, and it's a very different dynamic because I grew up in chaos. Like Ally, Quinta, and the coaches, they almost make fun of me. They're like, I feel like you do better when you're in chaos. When everything is going the right way, we kind of get nervous because we're used to you just having all kinds of chaos happening. Because I vent to them sometimes about like my brother or my mom or my dad kind of thing situation, and they're like, dude, I don't know how you have the mental capacity to like separate, and I could never say this word, compartmentalize. I always
compartmentalize.
Yeah, compartmentalize. They wonder how I am ever able to do that and focus for fights. And this has been my entire career, just chaos in the back of my mind that I'm always dealing with. And she had to deal with a lot of that, and still deals with a lot of that too. So it's like even for this camp, like I think this was probably the most that I tried to like just quiet the noise. And I was almost wondering if it was too quiet, because I was like, man, this might be a bad thing that is too quiet like this. Because I'm just used to it at this point. But it's a little bit more peaceful, just finally starting to tell people no and just like not giving a shit anymore, because you can't please everybody, man. I try to be this nice guy all the time, and I'm honestly over it. Like I was hoping Anthony Smith was going to be on, because I was going to ask him something. I was gonna be joking a bit, but at the same time,
I'm offended.
It was gonna be a little serious.
Well, you only came in for Anthony. No, go on. Ask the question though, because I am interested to know what you would have asked.
He's made some couple of remarks in the past about my fight with Piotr Jan, and I wanted to ask him, like, do you really compare your knee to the head anywhere close to the type of damage that I took to the head, where you saw the knee, I didn't see the knee? The impact of your knee versus the impact of my knee, and then have the nerve to say it aged gracefully. and try to like almost like big himself up while giving like almost like you're like not trying to put me down, but you are. And I like Anthony. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But
So I was literally going to say a minute ago, I was saying, wow, this version of Aljamain, this is what people are going to love and want to see. And then now you're attacking people. They love Anthony. The believers on this show, they love Anthony. So you know what I mean? You were going up the hill and now you've just gone back down the hill. But we're going to pull you back up again.
Listen, hey, it's okay. You can still love Anthony. I love Anthony. I love watching him fight. But so when you got a bone to pick with somebody, you kind of got to call it how it is. You know, I don't want to be that awkward space in the room where we're together. And I'm like, I had to listen to him for multiple occasions talking about it. And I redeemed myself and I shut everybody else up. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Stop, but don't say your thing aged gracefully. If anything, I could probably say you're a moron, you know, but you know, I'm not doing that. If that's your honor code, I'm like, dude, you think I want to be rolling around on the floor? I'm supposed to be this tough badass and I'm rolling around on the floor. I don't know what I look like. And then when I go back and I watch it, I'm like, yeah, that looks pretty bad. I look ridiculous rolling on the ground. Looking like that, my eyes rolling back.
But that was in the past. That was in the past. And that was
I'm just saying, like, you know,
2 years ago.
2021, yeah.
2020, that was 2 years ago. Look what's happened since. You know, you've put all that to bed, right? You've beat TJ Dillashaw, regardless of the shoulder injury or whatnot. Regardless, you beat him. You beat Henry Cejudo. And I know you probably experienced that. I bet some haters out there are still like, well, Henry had 3 years off. TJ had one arm. Piotr Jan hasn't won a fight since. You know what I mean? It's all very convenient if they want to make that kind of storyline. But the reality is you are dominating and you're taking out greats. But Saturday night, when you went out there and you won, the people of New Jersey were still fucking booing in the crowd. What did you make of that, Aljamain? Because I'll be honest, I struggled with that a little bit. Do you think it's just they're not understanding you? Do you think you're playing the heel a little bit too much?
I don't give a shit. They want me to be the heel. I'll be the heel all day long. So let's go.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up to be a dick.
No, I know, not at all. Listen, man, I take anything with a grain of salt. Like I don't get butt hurt over things. I will remember stuff and then dish it back. And I always say, just make sure if you dish it, you can take it. That's what I always say back to people. So I got thick enough skin where it's like, yo, I could take a good joke. It doesn't matter. It's like, it is what it is. But you know, the fans in New Jersey, I made my UFC debut. My MMA debut in 2011 in Morristown, New Jersey. I fought a ton in New Jersey. The fact that I was getting booed it is what it is. For me, it was more so feeling like cheers than anything. Because I'm like, listen, this is me showing you that I don't give a fuck. I'm here to win, and that's what I did. And I did it against one of the best guys out there, the self-proclaimed greatest combat of all time, greatest combat athlete of all time. Now, what does that make me? You know, so maybe they're mad that I'm going to keep running up these checks and keep looking good while I'm doing it. And that's it, man. I'm out here to get paid. And
well, guess what? If I can give you a bit of advice on that, Aljo, and far be it from me, because I was universally hated, right? Yeah. I remember walking into bloody arenas. I remember it was the Honda Center here in Anaheim, and there was a UFC event on. I forget which one it was. And I walked in and 20,000 people all just universally booed me. Right? So I just stood there and I did this. I laughed my head off. And then some guys came over to me. He was like the executive for the Clippers basketball team. He was like, oh man, that was the best response, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point is, I've been there. You just keep being you. You keep being authentic. You keep doing your thing. They'll all come round. Not that you give a shit. But you know what I mean? They will all see and realize the greatness and the realness, because there's nothing fake about you. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is, as long as they're showing emotion, you know, the last thing you want to do is go out there and have people just indifferent and not really give a shit. I never cared if they were cheering or they were booing. As long as there was emotion, as long as there was energy and atmosphere in the crowd, you're delivering what people want to see. You know what I'm saying? That energy and that experience that other people will never get to live.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. And that's why, like, now I'm just like, it is what it is. Before it was, I wanted to be the guy that people cheer for. Now, I legitimately don't care. I know some people are going to say, well, you do care because you read the comments. I'm like, yeah, because I have social media.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a human being, and I'm going to
read the comment. We're curious beings.
Yes, and it's not like it's making or breaking my day. I'm not going to be butthurt about it. Some Joe Schmo that I don't even know from a black hole in the wall. Like, the hell? Like, what are you doing with yourself? I'm out here doing great things. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's the way I look at it, man.
But listen, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up, Aljamain. I wasn't trying to bring it down to that. I just, yeah, I don't know, whatever. We were just having a good conversation when it came up.
Shit, man.
Yeah. No, there was certainly no disrespect.
Boo.
Let's talk about two things real quick, because in 8 minutes O'Malley shows up, and if you want to dip off because you can't be bothered with that negativity, I totally get that. Obviously, you're going to fight him next. I just saw a rumor it's going to be in August in Boston. Is that correct? And by the way, that was on some Instagram post. It wasn't from the UFC. It wasn't from anything official, and it had Yuri Prohaska. So God knows, that is not me knowing any inside information. But regardless, Sean O'Malley will be the next opponent. That's clearly evident. What are we thinking?
Sean O'Malley, he's definitely the number one contender, so he's going to get the next fight. But he's not this big draw that he thinks he is. I mean, because if he was as big of a draw as he says he was, he would have done bigger numbers than Bo Nickal did on the Contender Series. And I think we all know that's not the case. So in his universe, he thinks he's this big guy, but this is the Aljamain Sterling show. So he's coming to the Aljamain Sterling show, and I'm going to dictate and pick where we're going to fight. And it ain't going to be freaking Boston. Sean O'Malley does not get a say in where this fight's going to take place. He's going to fight on my time, and when I feel like going out and competing again. And I said September, so he better pony up and be ready to fight in September.
Yep. Obviously, when he came in the ring on Saturday night, it got a little wild, got a little heated. I loved it. So I got criticized for saying that I enjoyed it. I thought, call it what you will. Maybe it's the thug in me, but I enjoy that little aspect of it. We're going to fight. I like to see a little bit of pre-fight aggression. But what was going through your mind when he stepped in there, and he pulls the jacket off and all the rest of it? Were you enjoying that, or, talk to me about that?
I didn't mind it whatsoever. I mean, the goal was to sell the fight, and I was going to call him out, which I guess I did call him out right before he came in, and I told him to bring his sweet ass over here, bring that sugary sweet ass sugar tits. Bring your ass
sugar tits.
Yeah. So they brought him in the octagon, and it's all good, man. If you want to step into my cage, just know this is where it's going to go down, and I'm going to beat the shit out you in here. So at some point, we're going to fight. Whether or not he was in the octagon with me or sitting cage side running his mouth, it's going to happen. So that was the purpose of that, to build the fight.
That makes you more money though, Aljo. That makes you way more money, because that's really, really good promotion. Obviously, you're the champ. You get a cut of the pay-per-view. That will boost pay-per-view sales for sure. So, that's just going to mean more dollars in your bank account.
Yeah, maybe I'll give him a cut of the pay-per-view sales. He's saying he's this big draw. We'll see. We'll see what the numbers come back looking like, and maybe I'll give him a little PC of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking for. I am genuinely excited for that one. Merab Dvalishvili. I mean, one of the funniest things I've ever seen is because he takes the jacket off. Sean is a showman. He's great, and then hands it to Merab. You two are screaming at each other, and Merab sticks the jacket on, and the look on his face. He looked so happy with himself. It was hilarious.
He looked like the Kingpin standing in there in the middle with his arms crossed, smiling. I was like, that was the best part of the entire promotion.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
It was hilarious.
Morale was just a funny dude, one of the nicest guys in the world.
Yeah.
But he's also a little troll. He's a little troll. He's got a little dark side to him. I love it. It's the funniest thing, because now that his English is so much better, the jokes all hit a lot better too. So it's great to see. So yeah, that's our little trifecta, I guess, a little love triangle that we got between myself, Merab, and O'Malley.
Well, Cejudo's making it a foursome. Let's be honest. Cejudo's calling out Merab now.
Yeah. So I guess maybe we'll figure out where this fight's going to be. The only thing,
do you think that could be on there as well? Because that would just be phenomenal.
That would be great to do. But I know it ain't going to be Boston. Boston, the only thing that they deserve is to keep on losing to the New York Giants. So we'll keep that going, and we ain't going to Boston.
Yeah. No. As I said, I was just scrolling Twitter or Instagram or something this morning, and I saw a post. I was like, oh, is that true? Is that out there? I know
Harrington. Dana was talking about buying me a Lambo, so maybe that might be the little incentive that he's trying to get. I think Dana's trying to.
Dana's going to buy you a Lamborghini.
That was one of my requests, and he damn sure will. He damn sure will. If he wants this fight in Boston, he's gonna have to do a lot of things.
I'm offended. I never got no bloody Lamborghini.
I mean,
I remember because UFC used to be sponsored by Harley Davidson, didn't it? And I remember at the time I was re-signing my contract. And I text Dana. I said, "Hey, Dana, I heard there's some pretty decent signing bonuses going around these days." He's like, "Bro, you're not getting a signing bonus, okay? If you want a contract, take the contract." I said, "Okay." I said, "What about one of those Harley Davidsons? You know, could you swing me a Harley Davidson?" He's like, "Dude, you're getting paid a lot of money. If you want a Harley Davidson, buy a fucking Harley Davidson." Do you know what I mean? But you're getting a goddamn Lamborghini. What color? If you were to get this Lamborghini, what color would you go for?
I wanted to get it in like a midnight purple with like a lizard green on the accents of it. Kind of like how I got my Tesla right now. And the reason why I like that color is because I did that for my very first t-shirt that I made when I went pro. And on my shirt, I had a quote. It said, when I dream, I work reality. And I still live by that, you know? So it's kind of like just coming back full circle. And I dreamt a lot. I worked a lot. I'm living out my reality now.
You conceived, believed, and achieved.
Conceive, believe, achieve.
I hate to bring this up, but as you were saying there, you want the Tesla, you got the Lamborghini. O'Malley has got a pretty jazzy Tesla. I think it's in bright pink. I think he's got a pink Lamborghini as well. You guys have got something in common there.
I like Sugar Tits, man. He's a funny dude, you know, when he wants to be. I don't get the infatuation with him. Like in terms of his personality, when he talks, I'm like, I don't get what the big deal is about him. Like Conor, I get the Conor thing. The stuff that he says is funny, it's witty. Like Sean ain't saying no shit like that. He's just like talking. I guess it's just the colorful hair, the face tattoos. He's got some serious skills. I guess it's just the knockout highlights and Snoop Dogg call him Sugar Shine.
He does put a good show on. He does put a good show. He is popular, you know what I mean? And his performances mainly, you know what I mean? Granted, you're a big step up in competition. All right, he had a good fight against Piotr Jan. You know, that's his biggest win so far. You know, but here he is. Now he gets a shot at the champ. You know what I mean? How do you expect that fight to go down?
I think he's going to use a lot of footwork. He's going to be trying to snipe from the outside. He's going to start trying to pick me apart. I'm going to start picking him apart.
On. O'Malley, this was not a plan. I did not know that Aljamain was going to be on at this point. He came on 40 minutes ago. This was not planned. This was not planned. I repeat, this was not planned. So if you guys want to talk.
I'm calling bullshit on that one, Bisping.
No. He's been on for 40 minutes, Sean.
Hey, didn't your parents teach you not to talk with your mouth full?
Oh, shit.
No.
So what's up?
All right. Hey, what we'll do is we'll say goodbye, Aljo. Oh, bless.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Aljo, you're the man. No. Honestly, Sean, that wasn't the plan. But do you guys want to talk, or do you want to? Do you want to say bye?
I think Aljo's had enough time to chit chat.
Okay.
Yeah, we got enough time. We'll do some more chit chatting in the cage on September.
Well, you guys got plenty of time to talk. Aljo, thanks again. Congrats again on a great win at the weekend, and we'll say goodbye. Great talking to you, though. I really enjoyed that.
3 times, soon to be 4 time, baby. Funk out.
All right, this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp have sponsored this podcast for quite some time now, so you probably know what they offer. It is professional counseling done online. Okay. So if you need, if you've thought about doing therapy, if you've thought about doing it, but then it's just not convenient, it's too hard, it's a little daunting, you just, for whatever reason, you can't bring yourself to do it, then BetterHelp really is the way to do it. It is all done online, as I say. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and to suit your schedule. All you do is fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed professional therapist, and you can switch therapists, by the way, at any time with no additional charge. Because, let's be honest, you might be doing your therapy sessions and not really gel with the person. So therefore, you just switch it up. Okay. So, and it's the perfect way to do it if you are if you're very, very busy, you haven't got to jump in your car, drive off to the other side of town, find a parking space, all the rest of it, sit in a waiting room. That can put you off doing therapy. Not only the busyness, not only the schedule side of things, but walking into somewhere and sitting there and having people see you. This is just so discreet. No one needs to know. Of course, this is your personal business, okay? So listen, if you've got something going on in your personal life, in your mind, between your ears, you know it. Okay, your loved ones probably know it as well, and they'll be proud of you. Everyone around you will be proud of you to know that you're taking your mental health into your own hands and you're doing something about it to help yourself. And let's be honest, to help those other people around you, whether it's an addiction issue, drink, drugs, alcohol, anxiety, temper, we can all be a better version of ourselves. So we need to go out there and we need to get better help. So listen, give this a shot. Visit the website, betterhelp.com/believe. You're going to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP, betterhelp.com/believe, and good luck. Anyway, Saturday night, that was some fun stuff, man.
Yeah, it was. It was cool to be able to be there, cage side, watch those guys live in action.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, listen, this has been a long time coming for you. I mean, when was it you were on the Contender? What was that, 17, something like that?
2017, I believe. Yeah. That was it.
6 years, and now here you finally are. You get a shot at the Bantamweight Championship of the world. I mean, it's been some journey, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. I think it's gone, damn near perfect. And, it's, I've been training for about 12 years, and it's leading up all to this moment. Or I'll say August. Aljo likes to say September.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
He was just saying that,
UFC
actually.
says.
He was just saying that. He said, this is not going down in August.
Well, I'm fighting for the belt in August, so I don't know if he wants to, hand that one over, do up to 45, just slide out that way or what. But I plan on fighting for the title in August.
Did you know, because I just found this out, you guys have something in common. You both have... say again.
Nothing.
Massive dicks. No, you both got a shiny Tesla with like a loud color. Yours is pink, and he's getting a Lamborghini. He claims a Lamborghini and the Tesla. So you got that in common there, Sean.
Well, I have 3 Teslas, and I've had a Lambo longer, so it's.
Yeah, well, he hasn't got the Lambo yet. Yeah, 3 Teslas. Jesus Christ. Which ones? Model S, Model 3, Model Y?
S is the only one I don't have. But did you know that when Elon made them, and our Emron actually told me this, he planned it out to make – it spells out sexy. The Model S, the Model 3, the Model X, and the Model Y. It spells out sexy. Wow. Yeah, so I'm
do you know, to be fair, the man, he's a smart guy. He planned that. I mean, that's – do you think he did that on purpose, or is that just a coincidence? Come on. The ultimate troll. How you been, Sean, since last time we spoke? It's been a few months.
Been good. Same old. Kind of just been waiting for this fight to play out. Was, going to be the backup fighter at one point. Decided, you know what, that's really not worth the weight cut. The money's not worth the weight cut at this point. I don't know how many more weight cuts I have at bantamweight. I'd like to use them for, for spite, for fights specifically, not just for, just in cases. So, just been training, doing the same old, kind of. Just wait for this fight. That fight was kind of a big deal. Yeah. So now, it's finally announced that I'm fighting, the winner. And, here we are.
How hard is that cut to 135? When you show up on the Tuesday or whenever you get there, what kind of weight are you typically?
I would say I would say I'm 151, 152. So the weight cut's not easy. It's not fun. Yeah. But it's not, I think it's easier than Aljo's weight cut. I'll say that.
Yeah. 15, 16 pounds. That's about what I used to do before water loading and all the rest of it. But you're with respect to 135, so it's a higher percentage. So the plan is you go out there, you beat Aljamain Sterling, maybe one more, and then go up to 145?
I think I have more than those two. I'd like to, I think I do respect Aljo in a sense. I think he's defended the title 3 times. That's a true champion. Staying down, defending the belt, So, I would like to stay around the bantamweight. But, you never know who's the, featherweight champ at the time. Champ status is a big deal. So, I'm not even looking past this fight. I haven't even became the champ yet. So for me to talk about champ is is silly. I got to go out there and take care of Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's premature. What did you think of that Saturday night? Obviously, you were ringside. You had a great view. Cejudo versus Sterling, obviously a victory. What did you think?
Yeah, you'd think you have a great view. The poles kind of get in the way, right?
It's a pain in the ass. Even when I'm commentating, sometimes the pillars, I'm like, for crying out loud. I'm like trying to see around it.
Yeah, it had a decent seat. From my perspective, I thought Henry won. I thought he won at least 3 rounds. I was giving him 4 rounds. Considering that last round, I thought he definitely won. And but I haven't rewatched it yet. Elena doesn't want chicken, so. But I thought he won. I thought Henry won. I haven't gone back and rewatched it, and I keep saying I'm going to, and I am going to sooner than later. Tim and I are going to go watch it together, kind of game planning for Aljamain. But yeah, it was cool to watch them live in person. It definitely made me more confident, especially getting in the cage with Aljo face to face. The dude's shredded. He's a big guy, but face to face, he's not. I kind of wish I would have got a little face to face with Henry too, because just for shits and giggles at that point. But
if you had the choice of fighting either one of them, who would you have preferred to win? That's a better way of putting it.
I thought me versus Henry would have been more like a bigger fight, considering what he's kind of done. But Aljo went out there and beat him. So really, I think me and Aljo is going to be a similar size fight. I think Henry. I think I have Henry's. I don't want to say easier opponent, but I think Aljamain's definitely more of a difficult challenge than Henry is.
It seems like there's real animosity between you and Aljo. Where did this all start?
He's got something I want. He's got the belt. That's really all it comes down to. That's it. I want to go out there and slap him because he's got the belt. Henry, I'd like to slap him just for shits and giggles, but for Aljo, it comes down to he's got what I want, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, no, I mean that's how that's ultimately what it's all about. And I think because I used to be the same way. If I was fighting somebody, I don't know what it was. A switch would just go in my mind. You know what I mean? I'm like, all of a sudden, I hated this guy. He was my enemy until the fight was over. And as I say, seriously, I promise you, that wasn't the plan that you guys were going to like overlap. But we were talking to him, and he was being all cool. And then as soon as you show up, boom, he goes into being kind of a prick again. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's just what fighting's about. And are you aware of that? Are you conscious of that? Or is it just something that it's just, the way your emotions go?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. It's something about you got a fight booked against that person. It's not like we're going out there playing basketball. We're going out there getting in a fist fight. And, in my case, we're going out there and getting a fist fight. In his case, he's going out there getting in a grappling match. So it's, it makes it, it's something, it's just primal, alpha. We're going out there, kill or be killed style. And, something about it, I definitely wouldn't go to dinner with him within the next 12 weeks.
Were you always like that growing up? We've never talked about this, like at school and things like that. Were you a kid that was getting into a lot of scraps?
No, I didn't like confrontation. I didn't like, if there was a fight, like I would watch, but I'd be like, watch from the far back just in case someone wanted to fight me. Didn't like that in high school. Even when I started kickboxing, even when I kind of started knocking people out, I still wasn't like, I always kind of had seen it as a sport. I really liked the sport aspect of it. So growing up, definitely didn't get any fights.
Yeah. So when did that all change then? Because you don't seem to, obviously you don't shy away from confrontation now. You're one of the best bantamweights in the world. You're fighting for the title. Was there something that changed? Was it an event in your life, or was it just you grew into the man you are today?
Yeah, just grew into it. Just kind of, it just kind of happened. I never, even now it's like I wouldn't go out looking for fights and stuff. Just kind of my personality. But when it comes, this is a sport. It is a sport at the end of the day, and I love competition. So, but yeah, I'd say I probably just kind of grew into this personality.
Yeah, yeah. Just remind me, and forgive my ignorance. What's the name of your daughter again?
Elena.
Elena, pardon me. And how old is she now?
She's 2.5. Yeah, it's the best thing ever for sure.
Yeah. You know, and I think I mentioned this last time we spoke, but it always impresses me about you. When we were in London and you were like, no, I'm leaving. I got to get back to my princess. I got a fight camp coming up soon. I want to get ready for that. And I need to spend the little time that I have with my daughter. You know, you didn't want to stay in London. You didn't want to party. And as I say, I think I did bring this up last time, but just seeing what a proud father you are, you know, I'm assuming that fuels everything that you're doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I even before Elena, I've been living this lifestyle. Like sometimes you guys see me party or I'll be out with the Nelk boys and I'll do that. That's a very, very small percentage of my year. Like if you look at back last year, maybe I partied 6 or 7 times total. But yeah, my life, I lived this lifestyle from as a fighter since I was 18 and moved to Phoenix. And then the last 2.5 years, it's just I'm a fighter and a father, and yeah, it definitely brings an extra layer of motivation. But for me, I was kind of always living the fighter lifestyle, so I was always home. I was always, it's train, chill, train. That's 2 a days, multiple times a day. It almost makes it easier now to live that. I mean, honestly, kind of you can say it's a more of a boring lifestyle if you train, you're fucking sore all day, you go train again, you do the same shit every day for however many years. Now it's like having Elena. It's like having a little sidekick, a little buddy to hang out with throughout the day. So I'd say it definitely makes it more fun living this kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because it is funny, isn't it? Because when people look from the outside, like for example, you were there Saturday night, you were looking dope, you got the bloody, you got the outfit on, you got great style. I couldn't pull that shit off. I'd look like an absolute fool, but you do it, you nail it, you got the confidence. And people think it's a rock and roll style life, and yeah, there is elements of that. Of course, there's glitz and glam, certainly when you're in the octagon and you're the main event or whatever. But as you say, most of the time, it's a goddamn grind. And in between, you're just so fucking tired that you want to be at home, you want to be resting, recovering, and spending the little time that you have with your family. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you're not, you said it right. You're definitely not going out and hanging out and just having a hell of a time, every day, not even on the weekends. For me, I'm definitely don't go out on the weekends. I don't really, I don't really do shit. I have a mission and I have a goal, and that's to, perform at the highest level for as long as I possibly can. And that basically means, recovery is a priority. It's as important as the training session. So for me, that's been like the last 3-4 years that I've really clicked with that. And I think that's going to help with my longevity in the sport.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because that's something that I didn't do. I never focused on recovery. As soon as I finished, I was out the door. I didn't really stretch. I wasn't getting massaged. I wasn't foam rolling. I wasn't doing it. And there's many, many other things now. All the rage is the ice baths and the cold plunge and the saunas and everything. Do you do any of that stuff?
Oh, hell yeah. I've had a cold plunge at my house for the last probably 4 years, hot tub as well. I've had a cold plunge, hot tub, and a sauna, at my house for the last 4 years at least. And that's a religious thing that I do is recovery.
It feels great, doesn't it? Because I was just out in Tenerife shooting a little part in a film, and they had the cold plunge and the sauna and everything there. They had a beautiful spa. I was very lucky. And every day I'd have my workout, I'd do the sauna and then get in the cold plunge. And I felt on top of the world. And my back's always killing me, my body's beat up, and it feels fucking awesome. It's I cannot recommend it highly enough to anybody. Anyway, you're not here to talk about the benefits of cold plunging. So the fight with Aljamain Sterling, what's the plan in training camp? Regardless of whenever this fight's going to happen, August, September, October, November, who cares? When that happens, obviously we know he's a good wrestler. He just kind of out-wrestled Cejudo. What, do you think you're going to bring in some high-level wrestlers? What will the approach be for training camp?
I've been training for Aljamain, I've been training for high-level grapplers for the last 5, 6, 7, since I got in the UFC. That was always let's train with the best grapplers we possibly can find. We have, we're not running short in Phoenix on guys that can fucking grapple, wrestle and do jiu-jitsu. We're not running short at the MMA lab at Tim's gym at TW in Peoria. We're not running short on guys. Definitely won't have to fly anybody in. And we have a good idea of the training partners we're going to be using in this camp. So Yeah, we got that dialed in. But like I said, I've been training for a guy like Aljamain for a long time, who I think is a lot more dangerous in my opinion than Henry, who's obviously a high level wrestler, not much of a grappler as far as jiu-jitsu and submissions. So we've been training for grapplers. We've been training for guys that will try to take you down, take you back, submit you. We've been doing that for a long time. So pretty much just keep doing the same stuff. Just dial it in, get a little bit more specific, and get ready for August.
Yep, there we go. August indeed. Talk to me about Merab, what happened on Saturday night, because I got to be honest, I did enjoy it as a fan. I have been laughing because you two were going back and forth. You were getting into your little thing, but you take your jacket off, again, cool as fuck. Merab puts it on, you know what I mean? And he had that cheeky little grin on his face. Talk to me about it from your perspective, because it kind of kicked off camera. What happened?
Well, yeah, two things. You can't tell me Merab doesn't look like a doorman. And some guy that just kind of there to hold your coat and look at. You can't tell me you don't think of a doorman when you close your eyes. Merab's little face and his little body, he looks just like that. I'd like to say that's why I handed him the jacket, but the truth is I thought Tim was right behind me. They stopped him at the cage because he was coming in with me too. You never know. Every time I'm in an octagon, we're fighting, so you never know. Just in case, you've seen what happened with Conor Habib. You know, Tim's. You know, he's fought a lot. He's got a lot of pro fights, so. You kind of want someone in there just in case. Not that was our intentions. Definitely wasn't going in there to call the fight. But I thought
sure, but it's nice to have a wingman with you just in case.
Yeah. So I thought he was still right behind me. I take my coat off so I could size up Aljo, let him know, and I hand my jacket. I hand my jacket directly to Merab. So he never stole my jacket, but in there, I thought I handed it to Tim, and then Merab has my jacket. So I thought Merab stole it from Tim. So now I'm like a little aware. Okay, maybe some shit might happen. But at the end of the day, my dumbass handed him the jacket. He looked, there's the only time he's ever looked stylish at all. So you can't be mad at him. And, definitely no hard feelings there. I'm sure I'll get a slap Merab one of these days after Aljo moves up to 145 and I'm the champ defending the belt.
Yeah. As I say, it happened kind of off camera. So what happened? You asked for your jacket back, and did he say, no, this is my jacket? Or what was the situation?
Yeah, I thought he jacked it from Tim. And then pardon me. So I thought he jacked it from Tim. So if I would have, really realized that I gave him my jacket, how can you be mad at that? I couldn't have. In the moment, I thought he jacked it. I was like, this motherfucker stole my jacket. I'm going to slap him, put my gum in his fucking hair if they let me close enough. They didn't. Yeah, so it all ended up good. No one got slapped. I was yelling at Henry too. I'm telling him he's lucky he lost because I was gonna sleep him. It was good. It was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A couple more and we'll let you go. And again, thanks for your time. And as I say, I swear to you, that was not the plan at the start. It wasn't, Sean. It really wasn't. Because I even said to Brian, our producer, I'm like, oh shit, we're going to be careful because they're going to clash. And it wasn't the plan because if that was, I'd always run it by you first. But anyway, so assuming you're not going to go into a fight expecting you're going to lose. So if you go out there and you beat Aljamain, how does that happen? You see a finish, you see a decision. I mean, be honest. How do you see that going down?
I truly in my heart believe I can put his lights out. I've seen him walk. I've seen his striking, which is awkward, and it's not necessarily great, but it is great for MMA. He does, it's effective. That's what it is. It's effective. Yep. He's good at not like getting in a fist fight, which, hey, you can't hate him for that. No one really, there's very few people that are like, yeah, I want to get punched. He doesn't really want to get hit, but I believe I can bring him into that fight. I believe I can crack him, hit him hard, and hit him often. Those little ass gloves, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about accuracy and speed. I don't believe I hit that hard. I don't have like a thud. But if you let me throw my fist at your chin, don't need to be that hard. It needs to be fast. And that's what I can do. I can hit people fast, and I can hit people often. Damn, that's a good
absolutely,
you can.
See what I mean? We're overlapping all over the place. What's up, Mike Perry? Sean, you guys know each other, I'm assuming?
A little bit. I know Sean a little bit. I never had the pleasure of really turning up with him, though.
August 19th, after I knock out Aljamain Sterling, one of our brothers, we could we'll party.
That's what's up, bro. Yeah, you've been doing your thing lately, man. Keep going.
Hey, Mike,
Yes, sir. Real quick, I just want to say thank you for knocking Luke Rockhold's teeth out. I've always wanted to, but I can't because he'd whoop my ass. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, brother. I mean, I'm rooting for you, man. Some big fights on the horizon, and you got an awesome style.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely right, Mike. Hey, last question, Sean, and we'll let you go. And again, thanks for your time as always. I know you're a busy man and you got a heavy schedule. 1 second, Mike. I apologize as well. Diaz, Paul, it just came out. They're going to be testing for marijuana, right? As a man that likes to blaze up yourself, what the fuck is Nate Diaz going to do?
Nate Diaz probably isn't going to give a fuck. He'll probably fight, test positive. You know, I don't think Nate will care if they don't move it out of Texas. You know, I doubt you're going to get Nate to quit smoking before his fight. And
that's what I thought. I thought he'll just take the fine. You know what I'm saying? And say, fuck it. Yeah. Who cares? Hey, Sean, you're the man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, brother. All the best with everything. We'll talk soon.
Boom. Peace, boys.
Platinum Mike Goddamn Perry. What's up, brother?
What's up? Get the belts in there, yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we go. You get a new one every time you defend it?
Yeah, I mean, I have one for MVP and one for Luke, and I got both their names over here, you know.
Hey, let me guess. What's Luke Rockhold's called? Booger? Is it the Booger belt?
Sure, yeah. I didn't really give them. I gave them their regular names, MVP and Luke Rockhold.
No, that's awesome. Hey, Mike, listen, we've known each other for a little while, you know. To see what you've done, I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
I feel and I truly mean that. And I think a lot of the MMA community feels the same way as well. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, listen, you go to the UFC, you win some, you lose some. You know, it's the way it goes. And whenever fighters leave the UFC, it can be dicey. You know what I mean? And you never know what's going to happen to people. And some people go off and they find another avenue. Some people they get a regular job. And some people go into fucking God knows what. You know what I'm saying? To see what you've done, man, the people that you're beating, and I'm sure the money that you're making now as well, it's phenomenal, Mike. It really is.
Thank you so much, really. I mean, I feel like you're someone who knows how long this road is. When I started, you know, competing professionally at about, I think I was like 22 years old. I got to the UFC at 24. I was 7-0, 7 knockouts. And you know, you don't know. I thought always that there was no other plan. I mean, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, shit, I got to go get a job. I'm going to go do some construction again or something. Like, that's what I did before. It makes you strong, construction work, you know, doing those manly jobs. But the success I've had boxing, fighting, and bare knuckle, and just getting to really prove how tough I always knew I was. Really coming into my manhood, 31 years old now, got my family. My fighting means so much more now than it ever did. I have things to take care of. So I'm grateful for all of the success I've had. I feel like I've earned it. I've kept my mind in the right place. I've really calmed down a lot of things that I used to do. And I really focus on the mission at hand. So, you know, I'm grateful for everything, the money included.
Yeah, no, of course. Talk to me about that, though, Mike. We'll get to your fights with Rockhold and all the rest of it. And as I say, you have proved a lot of people wrong in what you've done. And that's why I said I'm proud of you. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I do know how hard this path is. It's one of the toughest fucking paths on planet Earth, you know? And like people always say, do I want my children to fight? I'm like, no, because it doesn't matter how good you are. If you zig when you should have zagged or whatever, we all know the cliched sayings, you know what I mean? And this much can be the difference between becoming a fucking superstar, multi-million-dollar world champion and being a guy that's going to be a janitor at a high school. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking tough path. You just said there, though, about handling your emotions or maturing a little bit. Talk to me a little bit about that journey, because I was the same way. I was a maniac and I could still do with improvement now. But when I started to fucking screw this on a little bit better, my results inside the octagon or wherever it was were getting better as well. Talk to me about your experiences.
Well, part of the experience is probably thinking about, do I want my son to fight? And it's definitely a no from me, in my opinion. I want him to train. I want him to learn. I don't want him to have contact for a long time. I don't want him to be hit, but he hits his head on everything in the house all day long. I'm like, damn it, son, are you destined? Are you destined for this? Because he can take a hit, man. He can take a hit just like his dad. But so and another part, like the mindset is like, as of lately, I've been telling myself this is the easiest job in the world. It's the greatest job in the world. Now, that's when I'm at the arena, when it's finally time to fight, and I've put in
the
all the work. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm sitting back there. I sit down on the couch all night. I'm like, I'm not gonna do too much. I'm gonna warm up at certain moments. I'm gonna get a little sweat, and then I'm gonna stop again. And then when it comes time to walk, I jump up and down and get my blood pumping, and then it's over in no time. It's quick, bam. And I know I can take it. So, I tell myself it's the easiest job in the world, but I cry on the way to the gym that I don't want to go. I don't want to do it. And the more I feel like, oh my God, I really just don't want to do it, or I feel like I can take a day off. The more I feel like that, the more I get my ass in the car and I go and work out even harder, even longer. And then once I get that workout in, it always does the same thing. My mind, any problems I had, anything, stress, I'm free, I'm relaxed, I'm happy. I go home, I shower, I lay down, I enjoy some good dinner. I hang with the family, we watch cartoons or something, and I just, I'm like, damn, I got to do it again tomorrow, but I did it today, and that's what's important. That's
absolutely. And well said. Well said, because that is the hardest part, getting off your ass, getting off the couch. No one wants to do it. Even I say, I like to run. So I'd rather be doing something else, though. Let's be honest. But when you start doing it, then it gets a lot easier. And as you say, that is the hardest. The fighting is the easy part. The training camps is what separates the men from the boys, the champs from the contenders, the winners from the fucking losers. On the night, we can all show up. We can all be tough guys. But if you don't put the prep in, for 8 goddamn long weeks where no one gives a shit, no one's cheering, no one's paying you, you're not getting fucking fame or nothing, getting out of bed cold and hurt and walking into the gym and you're like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
But when it comes to fight night, you're like, let's go, baby, let's go. Mike, listen, you're a rough and tough kind of guy. You're definitely, with respect, on the brawler side of things. I think that's why this sport, bare knuckle, favors you. Did you see this happening though? Did you think this is what I should have been doing all along?
I've always loved boxing. I've always wanted another chance at it. I was so successful in MMA because of my capabilities in boxing. And then when I got to the high level kickboxers, and I have great jiu-jitsu, but even when you're good at something, you take down a masterful jiu-jitsu player and, he takes your arm home with him. You don't see it coming. So, it's really the type of fighting style that I prefer. We're going to get into a firefight at some point. It's going to be hit for hit, hand to hand, mano a mano, my chin versus yours. And I pick myself in that battle any day of the week. But, it does make me curious as far as successful mindset, what I could accomplish in all realms of combat. And, like the way that it went in that fight, I just wondered if Luke had his kicks, if he had his grappling. It's not like he's this super wrestler. He's a grappler, which is jiu-jitsu. Yep. So it's like I would have still been able to strike with him and land significant blows. It makes me curious, makes me wonder.
Yeah. So is what you're saying now, you would be interested in like fighting Luke in a mixed martial arts contest as well.
I thought about that with MVP as well. MVP's legs are very dangerous. You know, he put a dent in that one guy's head and
Cyborg.
And he kicked that one guy's leg in half. And that was his most recent comeback. Since he fought me, he was very intense in that show. He was looking to get a win. And I do feel like in the BKFC fight against MVP, if I was able to do more than just punch, like grab a hold of him, I could have done more and maybe even finished. I think my jiu-jitsu is better than his. So, in an MMA fight, I think that fight, and it was never even brought up. Like Bellator did not want any part of me coming over there and beating their guy in MMA after he had a great fight with me in bare knuckle boxing. So, yes, I thought the same thing with Luke. I felt, I kind of felt bad for him. Like, damn, dude, you had no chance in there against me at all. No
that's
chance,
the mindset.
Bro.
That's how you've got to be. That's how you've got to think. Some people call it arrogance. Some people call it foolish. But you got to believe in yourself.
Well, I thought he did, though. I thought he had a chance. I was a little worried. I was like, damn, is he going to be so big and strong? What's it going to be like? And then it was over, and I was like,
that's what I thought. If I'm honest, I mean, you're right. You take away the grappling, you take away the kicks, the knees, the elbows, and the jiu-jitsu, which he's very good at, but they're like some of his signature tools. But even still, I thought the guy's 6'3", he's far bigger. Perillo's coaching him, who's a great boxing coach. I thought if he uses the right kind of game plan and stays on the outside, he could make it a tough night for Mike. And he caught you in the first round. I think it was a 1-2, right? But then straight left. He's southpaw, of course. But you kept coming in, swinging those shots, bust up his teeth, he's known for being a model. He didn't look like no fucking cover model at the end of that fight. Let's be honest, and no disrespect to Luke.
No, yeah, I felt kind of bad. That was one of the last questions I got that night walking out of the arena. This nice reporter. Little dude with glasses. And he's like, do you feel bad for him? And I was just like, thanks everybody. I was leaving, but like I did, because I wanted more of a battle. He hit me, and it was like once he hit me, I realized the range, the timing, where I should move my head. Sometimes you got to hit me first, and I want to taste it. What Sean was saying it. Right when I came in and you were finishing up with him, he goes, he's not one of those guys that likes to get hit. There's some guys that like to get hit. And I was like, I just came in the show. That's right. I like that shit. Go ahead, hit me.
Well, that's when you really wake up.
You want to have a headbutt competition or something?
You asked me?
I asked you that one time at the UFC.
Where was that? Where did that happen?
In the UFC when you were in the back, because you're one of the commentators, and you were like, we were doing like knuckle punches, and I was like, you want to fucking have a headbutting competition?
What did I say? No, you're good.
Yeah, you said.
Oh shit, that's hilarious.
You got nothing to prove though. I want, I still got to be hungry for another 10 years.
There you go. I mean, do you have any idea who you're going to fight next? Because obviously we saw Conor coming in. We'll talk about that in a second. But do you have any idea who the next opponent's going to be? Because MVP and Luke Rockhold, back to back. That's pretty phenomenal, Mike. It really is. And I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to you now. I know Michael Venom Page. He's tremendously talented. He's like ridiculously talented. Luke Rockhold, same thing. He was a dominant middleweight champion of the world. You know what I'm saying? And you took them out consecutively. That's impressive. Do you know who's going to be next, though?
Well, those fights kind of came out of nowhere, didn't they? People were like, who's Mike going to fight? And then it was like, whoa, he's fighting him? That's awesome. And then it was again, boom, who's he going to fight after MVP? Oh, my God, he's fighting Luke Rockhold, former world champion. I said it. God finally brought me a world champion and knockout. It wasn't exactly a knockout, but they call it a TKO for a reason.
It's a TKO, buddy. And you know what? I laughed my ass off. At the pre-fight press conference, not only when you wiped the bugger on him, which was fucking sensational, when he was like, I'm gonna knock you out or whatever, and you were like, When's the last time you knocked someone out? Or no, what did you say? Brian or Harrington, help me out. What was it you said?
I said, what do you believe? Last time you believed in yourself. When's the last time Michael Bisping knocked somebody out? It was
I know.
It was you.
I was like, yeah. When's the last time Bisping knocked someone out? I thought that was some good shit. That was really good, Mike. It really was.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut your boy off. I wanted to give him some airtime, man.
Nah, jump on, Harrington, jump on. They haven't been on the show the whole time because we've had back-to-back guests, but it's great. Yeah. He's got some questions for you from Twitter as well. So, Harrington, just prep those up in a minute. But did you and Luke get a chance to speak afterwards? You guys good now?
I spoke to him in the back. I was the one who told him, I was like, man, I don't know too much about your mouthpiece, bro. I don't think I saw you with a good mouthpiece in there. I had a nice custom fitted. I'm like, did you? I thought, you're a world champion. You've been in 30 pro fights. You got to wear a good mouthpiece. I don't know if
that's the only bit of protection you've got. That's all you've got, a good mouthpiece.
What the hell? That's all you got, man. So, no telling who's next. You know what I'm gunning for, though? I want the Tommy Fury boxing match. All respect to the Furies. It would have been a Jake Paul thing, but I want the winner, you know what I mean? And I think it makes a lot of sense because guys 8-0, pro boxers don't get, super incredible opponents until they're 20-0 or more.
Yeah.
And it's like, everybody knows I'm a dog, so he could think of it as a tune-up fight or whatever to get him prepped for the big million, 20-0 fights. But I just, I love boxing too, and I was talking with some people, and I would love to get in the boxing ring, even with the pillows on my hands, because I don't see a lot of people wanting to come over here to bare knuckle with me,
Well, no, you're right. I think a lot of those names you just mentioned, and there's quite a few names, in the YouTube world, the KSIs, the Jake Pauls, the Tommy Fury. I don't think they would fight you bare knuckle, but you have got a name now. You are a world champion taking out solid world-class fighters, and that's a fact. So those opportunities may present themselves. But let me also present another name, Darren Till. Would that be something that interests you?
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't want to do a bare knuckle.
Does he not? Have you guys spoken?
He's not as much of a boxer as me. He knows from when we sparred. We talked some shit the other day. My manager was recording it in the car. We was on FaceTime talking those shit. He's confident. He thinks he could do something, but he knows damn well what happened when we sparred. And when I get right up here in your face, nice and close, bing, 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 bing. And, he's got that left hand from a distance, but his hips are a very strong point for him. He has very strong hips as far as like wrestling defense and, putting his weight on you. He had good Muay Thai trips. He tossed me to the ground a couple of times, but it's just a trip. I got back in his face and popped him in the nose. So one of the funniest things I remember when you guys, I think it was on an embedded or something, and you said, do you want to spar? And he thought you meant go to a spa and like sit in the sauna and shit. That was hilarious. Go spa now, mate. You thought that's what I asked you? And I got some fucking payback for him, man. He made a beer off the fucking joke that he tried to say to me and my girlfriend. What's that? And the raw dog beer. But I was the one raw dogging it, and I've been raw dogging this whole fight game for the past 2 years, while Darren Till's been on his ass getting raw dogged for the last 6 fights. So he definitely don't want to do it bare knuckle boxing. I don't think he wants to do it boxing, but we can make that fight somehow, some way. Hey, and you never know with those kind of words, Mike. That might just motivate a man to sign a contract. I'm going to reach out and send this to Darren. Darren's a cheeky little cunt. Hey, hold on a minute. Mike, I was just talking shit with MMA Junkie about Cowboy Cerrone too, because after the bare knuckle fight, we didn't expect Conor to be there. When Conor pulled up, I'd rather get the face off with him. And I saw Cowboy after, and he's a sneaky little snake, man. I'm telling you, because
Cerrone?
yeah, he looked at me, and he looked scared. He looked sad. He looked pitiful, like an old, shitty old man with gray hairs coming out of his hat. He looked like just sad and pitiful. And I thought, like, oh, damn, why are you looking at me like that? Like, I mentioned you know what I mean? Like, it would be cool. I thought maybe you would like an adrenaline-filled event like a bare-knuckle boxing match. They've been telling me that maybe you wanted this. I was pretty sure you didn't. And the look on your face says you do not want this at all in bare-knuckle boxing. You a grappling ass. And then afterward, he had, like, some things to say with the schmo, and he, like, kind of had a chip on his shoulder and didn't want to give me no credit. But he already quit in that interview, too, because he's like, my teeth broke. I gave up, too.
So hold on a minute. Are you saying that there was potential of you guys fighting each other in bare knuckle? Because Cerrone retired from the UFC, last year or a while ago anyway. Was that a potential fight?
I don't know. They talk to me, you know. They tell me a couple names. They tell me Cerrone might be there. Everybody knows, you know, bare knuckle and like how it works. And some certain specific UFC fighters would be a draw to see in it. And in my opinion, I've seen Conor McGregor work in bare knuckle training and stuff, and I know he was there and he loved the show and respected the game, and it was just like a more intriguing factor. And Conor beat Cowboy, and I fought Cowboy as well, but he armbarred me, and it's like, you know, we could have a real fight that was interesting, but you know, and then, you know, that's what I'm saying. They tell me one thing, and then the other things kind of happen the way they should. And, you know, I'm down to fight them all.
What about McGregor? You know, when he stepped in, you got face to face. I mean, it was polite, but there was a little bit of tension there. There was a little bit of tension. And he was like, you know, McGregor can't help himself.
He's aggressive.
He mentioned Cerrone. He goes, what did I do? What did I do?
Yeah.
Took him out in 40 seconds.
He's the king of it, you know?
You got on board. I took him out in 40 seconds. Like, did
Everybody
you know, listen, you little
McGregor.
bastard.
No matter where you go, he's aggressive, and he's known for just being known. Like, if you tell people you face off with somebody after you beat a world champion, you probably want to say it was Conor McGregor, because then they'll be like, oh, really? No one else knows anyone else, unless, I mean, even more so McGregor over John Jones. Anywhere you go in the world, people don't really know. So, I mean, I was grateful. I told him, thank you so much for being here, because he allowed me to, you know, speak the name of a friend, and with his presence there, that brings everyone's attention to that moment. And I was able to, you know, just kind of shout out a friend of mine.
Yeah, of course. And I know what you're talking about, and I'm sorry for your loss there, Mike. I really am. My sincere condolences. Funny I say that, but now what I'm going to say to you is this. I had you on the podcast before, Mike. Where was this version of Mike Perry? You came on, you were very, because I thought, oh, this is going to be wild. We got Mike Perry on. He's a fucking lunatic. So am I. We're going to have a riot. It's going to be fun. You came on, you were very cordial. You were very businesslike. You were very mild-mannered. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I wanted this, Mike Perry. Yeah. This is what I wanted.
Well, this is where I'm at now. I'm in this shit now, and I'm ready for it. I've put all my chips in the right places, and I'm ready for what's coming to me. I also know that I have to be careful what I say. I can set myself up. I saw something the other day about Bruce Lee saying that's why it's called spelling, because you spelling, you putting spells and crafts with your words out there. And I'm just like, I'll be watching what I say, but now I know that I got to just jump in and be the best me I can be, entertain. And man, when these announcements get dropped, I hope the world goes absolutely crazy for my next setup fights, because I'm going to go crazy when I get in the ring.
Words are powerful. I mean, not only are you a bare knuckle champion, now you're a philosopher as well. I mean, what has happened? He's a philosopher. The words are spelling. My God, it's so great to catch up with you, man, because it's been a while since we spoke, Mike, you know, and I always liked, and I always had great respect. Love what you did in your fights, of course, but as a guy as well, we always had good interactions. So thank you for coming on. Harrington, what have we got on Twitter for the great platinum Mike Perry? And welcome to the show, Harrington. We've had 3 guests back to back. He's been sitting there like a good little boy backstage. I apologize, Harrington.
I've been putting little things in the chat here, little punching in when I can. Darren Till is the first question asked.
Hold on a minute. Go on, give it us again. Come on. Oh shit, you've got me. I'm putting it down. I tap out.
You're next for bare knuckle.
Hey, listen. I'm serious. I was like, if Rockhold beats Mike Perry, I'll have a do. But he didn't. I mean, listen, with respect, fuck it, I'll have a go.
Hey, David Feldman, call him up, bro. I mean, all respect.
Let's go,
to
David.
Our families, brother. We fight for the family.
There's the headline. We'll fight for the family. Harrington, what have we got, brother?
First question. Darren Till asks, why is Perry such a sausage?
Cuz I put it in your mouth, you queer boy.
Keep them going, Harrington.
You guys want me to see if Darren wants to come on?
Oh, please, yeah, message him now. I will as well. Just ask him a question, Harrington, while I message Darren. This is the episode of all episodes.
I just sent him a link. I had it ready to go.
Okay. RJ and KC wants to know, how many fights are typical in a BKFC contract, and would you consider a move to Masvidal's bare knuckle MMA promotion once your contract with BKFC is up?
Well, my contract is up. I'm currently a free agent. I fought it out. There are some lucrative deals on the table, and the bare knuckle MMA is not one of them. BKFC contract was a 3-fight deal, and they treated me very well, and we upgraded that contract a couple of times. But then before they re-signed me at the end, before that Luke Rockhold fight, they had me finish that contract out. My management knew what they were doing, and now there's a big. I'm like the top product in the stock market right now.
How many years do you think you'd like to fight in bare knuckle, or just keep going until you feel you can't do it anymore? Or do you have a plan?
Well, I've said that I'm a contract killer for hire, and whoever's got the best numbers. Like I said, it's intriguing to think about how I could take this successful mindset to all realms of combat. I'm interested in boxing. I do like bare knuckle boxing. It seems to give me quite the edge. And then there are, I've got 20 professional MMA fights too. So
I mean, this what I'm about to say now. It's a pretty obvious question, but it's the what was it? The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that everybody wants. But the Jake Paul fight. I mean, you're doing great things in boxing. If he beats Nate Diaz, and by the way, who do you think wins that? I mean, the Jake Paul fight would just be perfect for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think I said the other day on a post that I think Jake's kind of doing some things wrong. He seems very green to me. He seems fresh and new in this sport, and you can really tell. I know he's had some big events already, but the learning comes slow. It's a long road, like we talked about. And he's coming off of a loss, and just because you might train harder or run a little harder, you might not be thinking properly. And Nate has been around, and he has seen the ups and downs of the game. And I know he knows what he's got in front of him and what he's up against. Jake's got some power. He's sharp from the outside when it comes to boxing. He's going to change a few things since the Tommy Fury fight. We all know Nate is very durable. We've seen him take beatings bad and come back and get victories. So I can see him weathering a storm. I can see him peppering them. I want to see more speed. He did rock Leon Edwards, who is the top guy right now at 170. Jake is a bigger guy. Nate's really a 155er from back in the day, but now he's probably sits around 175, 180. I'm assuming he's looking to be fast, pepper him up on the outside. He doesn't have to worry about kicks. Nate's a smart.
But hold on. Let me ask you this though. What you just said before about Rockhold, and again, I'm not taking away from your win. Don't think that at all. But in bare knuckle, Rockhold can't use a lot of the other good weapons that he has. Nate's known for being a great mixed martial artist. Is he playing into the hands of a Jake Paul? We know he's got good hands. We know he rocks Leon Edwards. He rocks Conor McGregor. We know. But do you think, and the fact that he is 38 as well, what do you think about that?
Whenever I think about age, though, I think about, first of all, sparring for my camp with Luke Rockhold, I sparred with 44-year-old Lyoto Machida. Dude's sharp as a whistle, man. Sharp as a tack. I don't think that's how the fucking thing goes.
Sharp as a motherfucker.
Yes, so sharp. And then, you know, I just played soccer the other night with Yoel Romero in Miami. Dude,
I love you. I love you. You say this to me. Dude, I said, I love you.
Yes, I love you too, bro. Yes. Yoel's the man, and he's very old. And I know Dan Henderson, 47 years old.
Yeah.
Fucking you fought all these guys I'm talking about. So age, 38's not bad. Nate better come in there smart. It seems like he is. He's fucking with Jake. He's in Jake's head without trying. Jake's pissed about him for some reason. And he's going to be really mad when he's not having success against him like he thinks he's going to have. And he's going to be in his own head because he's green in the sport. This is what I see.
But he's coming off his first loss as well. Let's remember that. You know what I mean?
Fighters are good when they come off of that.
They are good, but it can mess with this though. You know what I'm saying? It's all well and good when you're undefeated. You're like, oh, my shit don't stink. I can beat anybody. Then you take a loss and you're like, hold on a minute. I am human after all. Now he's going up against Nate Diaz. On paper, there is benefits to Jake Paul, but Nate is a proven badass, you know?
Yeah, I guess I'm saying with my heart, I'm like with Nate. And I always tell myself when it comes to betting, don't pick with your heart.
Yeah,
you pick with your mind. That Jake seems to be the much tougher challenge here for Nate, and that he could hurt him, but I don't see him hitting him hard enough because Nate is known to take attrition. So,
well, anyway, bollocks to Nate Paul, Nate Diaz and Jake Paul. Bollocks to them. We'll end on this, Mike. And I've loved talking to you. This has been great.
Thank you.
I've had a great time. We've had a good laugh.
Man, your camera view and like your setup, it looks so good, man.
It's almost like I do this professionally. You know what I mean?
Look at my chair. Look at my fucking chair.
Let's have a look.
It's a broken.
Oh, bro.
It's a broken
computer
chair.
It's the classic. We've all been there. Because like when I was fighting,
that's all. Diaz, man.
There we go, bro. There we go. When I was fighting, I was always terrified what I was going to do afterwards because I can't do anything else. I left school at 16. Do you know what I mean? And then, you find your way, you weave your way through life. What do you think you'll do? When the time comes, you hang the gloves up. What's Mike Perry going to do? Are you not even thinking about that yet?
No, I am because of what happened to my friend. I was struggling with that. But then I even told Conor McGregor that he helped me with that. And it's like, I talked to a lot of people from that thing that happened. And it was like, they were like, you have an opportunity right now. So depending on my opportunities right now, they're so large that I know that I have to keep going as hard as ever. And that gives me a drive to be my best self. To strive and to work out hard, and it gets me pumped, So I'm not thinking about giving up because I feel like the next 10 years are very important for me and my family, and we can make a fortune in this time. So that's what I'm thinking about, and it has to be the right ones, right fights. There's a lot of interesting options for me. Mike Perry can fight anyone. Yeah. So Darren Till's whole ass didn't show up.
He never showed up. I don't. He must be in bed or something like that. What a hole! I'm telling him. I'm going to give it to him. Darren, you're a hole, lad. What the fuck? We got Mike Perry all right here. Mike, I think that's a good place to end this. You are the man. It's great catching up with you. It's been far too long. Congrats on everything. Honestly, as I said at the top, I'm proud of you, man. You deserve this because you are a real one. You're a real fighter. You know what I mean? And it's not an easy road. And it's always so satisfying to see people that they struggle, they lose, whatever, they win some, they lose some, and they keep going. They keep going. Because it's easy to quit and go do something else. But you've kept fucking going. You've made it work for you. You're making a ton of money. You're looking after your family. And that's what life's all about. Congrats, brother. And I really mean that.
Thank you so much, Michael Bisping. God bless.
Right on.
You and your fam. Peace.
All right, take it easy, bro. We'll talk soon. There he is. The one, the only, the original, Mike Perry. As I said, where was that version last time, Harrington?
I mean, dude, he had an MMA fight to worry about. Now he's got no worries.
He has got no worries whatsoever. Hakuna Matata, as they might say in certain stupid Disney movies. Well, that has been quite the marathon of guests there, hasn't it?
Yeah, man, that's a full show.
Well, it's all right. We'll do some chit chatting. I felt guilty on O'Malley because that wasn't the plan. And Brian and I, before you jumped on, were even talking about that. I said we've got to be careful because we want to make sure that they don't. Because it's all well and good if you put that to them, you know what I mean? Say, hey, would you mind? But you don't want to just surprise them with it. And that certainly was not the intention. We had 40 minutes with Aljo. But Aljo, he was going quite deep on his feelings and his emotions and things like that. And I was enjoying the conversation. And that 40 minutes flew by. And before we knew it, and I think O'Malley jumped on a little bit early as well, before we knew it, he was on. So I think he was a little, as he even said himself, he was a little thrown off. And I think might have been a little bothered. So, Sean, if you see this, I apologize, brother. That was not the plan because I do have respect, believe it or not. But still, Mike Perry, O'Malley, Aljamain, thank you all for your time. That was sensational. We have got stuff to talk about, though. What do you think?
We got a fight card this weekend. There's breaking news. There's non-MMA.
What's the breaking news?
I mean,
Well, don't say it like that. You said that as if that we got breaking news. Like you don't know, Michael. Since you've been being the Howard Stern of the mixed martial arts world, Conor McGregor's just shot someone in the head. That's what I thought like something crazy's happened. But I say that to you and you don't know what to respond with.
Well, I mean, there's the heartbreaking death of a 21-year-old amateur fighter.
Don't bring it down.
It's just breaking news.
We're having a good show. It's not breaking news. It's breaking my heart.
Yeah.
That's the only thing it's breaking. I mean, that is so sad. It's awful. And she's such a pretty young girl as well. Do you see the picture? Brian, if you can bring up the picture on Dana's Instagram, Dana shared a picture of her. Oh, and I feel so bad. What was her name? I can't say the girl. I've got to give her respects.
Shaylee Lip.
Shaylee Lip. Hold on.
Alie Lip.
Yeah, Shaylee Lip. It's so sad. She died in a car crash, and she was an aspiring mixed martial artist. Didn't wear the seatbelt. There she is, pretty young girl, 21 years old, aspiring mixed martial artist.
Just got back from Thailand training.
Just got back from Thailand. She had a journal. She put in the journal that Dana White will know my name. That was her goal. And then goes out there, gets in a car, doesn't put the seatbelt on. I was taking Lucas to training last night and I was saying to him, I'm like, son, and I told him the whole story. I said, always put the seatbelt on. That will save your life. And God knows why she didn't, but whatever. That's not important now. It's just bloody heartbreaking. And Dana came out posting and said, I know your name. And oh God.
Yeah.
Good way to bring the show down, Harrington. Nice one. Thanks, bud.
It's what I do. So
condolences to all of her family, of course. And anyone else out there, put your goddamn seatbelt on. Seems like every time we're doing public service announcements, don't drink and drive. Wear your fucking seatbelt. And for the love of God, don't box Mike Perry in bare knuckle because you're going to get your ass whooped because the man's a psychopath. But yeah, of course, so sad. But let's change the subject because
happier news?
It's so heartbreaking. Yeah, something a little happier, but I hope that it isn't deemed disrespectful to any haters out there. It's sincere condolences to her and all of her family.
Well, I mean, realistically, she went to Thailand, was doing all this to be talked about on platforms like this, obviously for her mixed martial arts accomplishments, but the goal, it remains the same.
Yeah,
we are talking about her. So God
you're
bless
trying to say something nice, and I appreciate that, Harrington, but I don't think it was quite the context that she wanted to be mentioned in. But still. All right, let's just take a second to talk about Chalk real quick that are sponsoring this episode. We all love natural supplements here, believe you me, and our friends at Chalk are back with the only natural supplements worthy of the Bisping stamp of approval. Look, listen, you see it all the time. People are training hard, they're working out, but they're not getting the results that they want, okay? Maybe the testosterone is dipping a little bit and you need to give it a boost. Okay, but you want to do it in the natural way. Well, Chalk has created an all-new natural testosterone booster that's taken the sports world by storm, and I prefer Chalk for several reasons. Listen, the supplement industry is filled with weak, trashy, or dirty supplements, and Chalk are proud to stand above the rest in clean, pure, and healthy products. Chalk uses full disclosure labeling. They tell the exact amount of every ingredient. There's no label fluffing, no underdosing, and all ingredients are measured to exact clinical research. Chalk Daily is the cleanest research-based testosterone booster available today. Along with Chalk Daily, be sure to check out their Male Vitality Stack and the Stack Ultra. Give this a shot. You will benefit from the results, I'm telling you. If you're working out, but you're not getting results, if you're feeling like your energy levels have dipped, if your libido has dipped, if you don't quite feel the man that you used to be, maybe you're in your mid to late 30s, maybe you're in your 40s or even older, the testosterone dips. It's as simple as that. There's nothing wrong with giving it a cheeky little boost. We're not fighting in the octagon. You're not a Vitor Belfort. You're a man trying to be the best version of yourself. So right now, check out the website, chalk.com, CHOQ.com. And when you're there, use the promo code Bisping. You will get a huge 35% off your entire order. That is chalk.com. Use the promo code Bisping and better yourself this spring with Chalk.
All right, UFC. This is happier note. UFC's returning to London. Friend of the show, Tom Aspinall, is going to be the headliner for the event on July 22nd against Marcin Tybura.
Yeah, excited for Tom. Obviously, as we know, snapped his leg last time out, which was such a shame in the first real exchange of the fight in the first round. Poor guy. I mean, if you haven't seen the interview with him, you got to check that out because he went in all into his mindset and like the demons he was facing and like thinking whether or not he was going to ever do this again and come back and fight. But he's come back. He looks amazing, looks phenomenal, and that'll be sensational. Marcin Tybura, good comeback fight. Not an easy fight though. Marcin Tybura is no walk in the park for any man. But as much as I am excited for that, Anthony Lionheart-Smith is stepping foot into the goddamn octagon. Brian, show yourself, man. Let's have a bit of goddamn energy over here. Rebecca!
Energy.
Well, if you want to come, we're giving energy for the show. For Anthony. Woo! Give us a woo,
we're all going to watch on YouTube, right?
Give us a woo.
Woo!
I can't do that. Like when I'm doing lives on my YouTube, every time we get a new member, Beck goes, woo! Well, the Americans do, but I can't do it. If I, woo! That's how it sounds. And on this film recently, the director was like, after you've done whatever it is that you're going to do, don't want to give it away. He's like, give us a woo. I'm like, well, that wasn't bad then. I'm like, I can't fucking woo. Do you know what I mean? Give me the best one you've got, Harrington.
Hit him with the two steps and the Ric Flair. Woo! 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 Just watch the best of Ric Flair, right? And I feel like that's how every American kid got their woo down. Was just growing up with Ric Flair.
Hey, that's it. We all got it from Ric Flair.
If you're all listening to this at home right now, I want you to give me your best woo. Just don't care where you are. Just let it go. You're on a bus. You're at a park bench. You're by yourself. You're in the police station waiting to get booked. Who cares? Just let out a goddamn woo, and it's going to feel good. Get those vibes going. Talking of vibes, positive vibes only. Anthony Smith, Johnny Walker. We're all excited. We will be doing a live, as we said, on the YouTube channel. Johnny Walker is a big, strong, wild, aggressive, unpredictable guy that John Kavanagh has been trying to tame for a little bit. Seems to be having success. I think Anthony, if you break it down, I think when you look at all realms of mixed martial arts, Anthony's the better fighter.
Right.
Without question. He's the better boxer.
Johnny's might be bigger than him, though. I don't know. I have never stood next to Johnny Walker. No. I have stood next to Anthony, and he's a fucking mountain.
Anthony's not a small guy. I remember the first time I stood next to him, I'm like, you're bigger than what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Johnny Walker's big. But I think when it comes to striking, jiu-jitsu for sure, wrestling, experience, mindset, analytics, Anthony's far and large ahead, but it's just that crazy power of Walker that does give you cause for concern.
Of course, anybody can beat anybody, but I think that Anthony definitely has, like you said, a much better skill set. I see him going in there and frustrating Johnny Walker to the point where he ends up making a mistake. Like you said, he's probably going to clip him and then take his back, choke him out.
Yeah. Oh, no. Without question, I see Anthony winning the fight. It's just because I care so much. That's the only reason I'm nervous. I'm not nervous because I don't think he can compete. I'm not nervous because I think he's going to get steamrolled. I'm nervous because anytime someone that you care about competes, it's bloody nerve-wracking. And this is nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah.
Very nerve-wracking the last time we watched Anthony fight. We're hoping for a much better outcome this time.
Well, correct. Exactly. Good input, by the way, Harrington. Excellent analytical there. That was good. You said yes once.
I'm just remembering the time that I was sitting next to Rebecca Bisping telling her exactly that. Like, hey, you don't understand. When someone is in there fighting, it hits you a little bit different. And she looked at me like, you prick.
Yeah. Well, you think I don't know about that? All right, listen, let me just look at these. We've got some funny non-MMA stories, but we'll save them for Monday. And I think we've been going for 2 hours now. So I think we'll wrap this one up here because, well, I need a pee.
We got a couple questions, unless you want to save them for Monday.
But we will do questions. You'll have to put in a quick edit here because I'm going to run for a pee. I'll be right back. Yeah, you're okay. Just zap me back. You can leave this bit in, but I'm going to be right back.
346 minutes later.
All right, so there it is, packed show. And, of course, we will be live Saturday. Don't miss it. Fight Companion, Mike Harrington, Brian McKay, Michael the Count Bisping, and Rebecca Bisping. And I'm going to get a fighter to join us as well. So they'll be fun. So come and join in, watch along with us, Anyway, if you have a question, send it in to bympod@gmail.com.
And if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, make sure you're subscribed on there. Leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. It helps out on all those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new video drops. And if you want to catch over 400 episodes you can't find it anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to gasdigital.com. Use promo code BYM. Get yourself a 7-day free trial. Check out over 20 great shows on the network.
All right, first question we got here today is from Marco Maximus.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, just a few questions. One from Michael. Do you like the extravagant entrances that used to occur during Pride, modern day boxing, kickboxing, that kind of thing? Or do you actually like the no frills, no bells and whistles entrances that are currently in the UFC at the moment? One for Harrison. What's your favorite porn category, mate? I think the listeners want to know. And Brian, if you were a UFC fighter, what would your entrance music be? Cheers, guys. See you later.
A horse with no name. Oh, Rebecca, hello. How are you, sweetheart? I was going to say, you're not required now. I called you in a while ago. I thought you were coming in. I know she did. She's bringing me a glass. I'm not making you feel like an idiot. I thought you were coming in to join. I'm like, we're doing questions now. It's kind of past. I'm sorry, baby. No, that was awkward. A horse with no name, asking quite a little bit insulting, Harrington. But in all seriousness, what is your favorite category of porn?
Are we really doing this? We're really doing this.
No, we're not. It was a joke. Okay, so that was actually a pretty interesting question, what he asked about the ring walks. Because, in Pride, if anyone used to watch Pride back in the day, or K1, or a lot of even, I think Bare Knuckle did it. I think Bellator do it as well. They have these big WWE-like entrances where they come down like a big, massive catwalk. There's fireworks going off and all the rest of it. And, when you're younger and you're watching that and you think, wow, that looks so bloody cool. And I remember when I fought at Cage Rage on a much scaled down version of that. You would walk down the same thing and there'd be some fireworks and a couple of dolly birds dancing, you know what I mean? But I remember Dana saying that he wanted it to be more like a sport, more like boxing, less like WWE and more like boxing. And in the boxing side of things, it was always like that. And I kind of understand that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of the fanfare. I like it. I do. You know, I still think that looks bloody cool. But I do understand the trying to differentiate between entertainment and a sport. And even though those lines might get a little blurred sometimes, generally I lean towards that. You know, how do you feel?
I remember when I first became a fan of the sport, talking to my buddy, being like, "Why don't they do?" Because like I started watching UFC, and then we did throw on a Bellator, throw on a Pride or whatever, and you would see that pomp and circumstance entrance, and it would be like, "Man, why don't they do this in the UFC?" It's to the point now, though, where I do respect the like guy's a world champion and he's just running to the cage barefoot in his shorts. You know what I mean? Like to the point now where I see an Israel Adesanya doing the 10 guys choreographed dance entrance, and the Undertaker or even Conor McGregor when he had Sinead O'Connor sing him in. It feels out of place and weird, and like you're taking away from the momentum of the card. You know what I mean? Like it everything about it just feels weird and off, and it kind of doesn't sit right with me as a diehard fan of this sport.
I do know what you mean, and I understand what you're saying, but I also disagree a little bit because there's a part of me that gets excited. Like I remember when Conor fought Khabib and he walked out and they did the dry ice above the octagon. Do you remember that? And there's that iconic picture of Conor doing the Billy strut with all the dry ice in the octagon. And I was up there working for ESPN in the booth, one of the suites way up high. And I remember looking down and thinking, that looks cool. You know what I mean? That is pretty iconic. But also, I agree with you, what you say. You know, I mean, there is something about, you know, when you see the likes of Muhammad Ali and these legendary boxers throughout history, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, people like that, Roberto Duran, and they're going through the crowd. You know what I mean? And there's like a big sea of madness, and there's a spotlight on the fight, and they're going through, and all the fans are reaching out and trying to, you know, like just get a fist bump or whatever. That's also, in its own way, just as cool. You know what I'm saying? And I feel a little bit more authentic. However, I do like a bit of pomp and circumstance, though.
Well, but there is the thing, like, for instance, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, right? From the time the ring entrances started till the time the bell went off to start the fight was about 40 minutes. And it's like...
And it cost him the fight because he was so tired from wearing that metal costume.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Worst excuse ever. Oh, no, but hold on. What else did he have? I think he was poisoned.
Yeah, there was tainted water bottles.
There was tainted water bottles. His costume was too heavy. There was one more as well. There was a few.
His cornerman also like threw in the towel or screwed him over in some way.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Deontay's going to Deontay. So yeah, there you go. What was Brian's question? Brian, what would your walkout music be? Something that sounds like
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably something like something from Superjoint Ritual, or like I don't know, something like that. Waiting for the
death
turning
metal.
point, maybe. Yes, maybe some thrash metal. Yeah.
Right.
On the heavier side of things. That's how I live my life.
Yeah. No, it's funny, isn't it? Like, because, like, for example, my brother-in-law, Daniel, nicest guy you'll ever meet. He really is the nicest guy. He's a successful guy. He's a captain for Qantas Airways. You know what I mean? He's very smart. He's very funny. He's very, very calm, just like Rebecca. Loves the thrash metal. Do you know what I mean? Just loves it and has it blasting out. And I'm like, it's just weird, isn't it? How some people like that. I think that sounds fucking awful, if I'm being totally honest. I don't get it at all. But hey, horses for courses.
That's it, man.
That would be terrifying to hear your pilot raging out to like, like he's gonna fly a plane like that.
No, you got to listen to it at reasonable volumes, or you hurt your ears. We have another question here, and this one is from Joven.
Hey, BYM crew, Joven here with a video question from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm a huge fan of the show, and I'm a huge fan of martial arts. Now, during those big pay-per-view events, I do watch a lot of the UFC Embedded that takes you behind the scenes what fighters do during those fight weeks. My question for you, Michael and Anthony, is what else do you guys do during the fight weeks besides the signing of the posters, the photo shoots, and those media interviews? And do you guys actually like even doing it? Just because I feel like it's the last thing you want to be doing before you're going into a fight. And Anthony Smith, good luck on your fight this weekend. And if you hope you guys can give a big shout out to my boss's birthday, which is this Wednesday. His name's Adam Boyd. So if you want to give him a happy birthday, that'd be fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
No, we've turned into a version of Cameo now, have we? Well, Jovin, happy birthday to your boss, Adam. Okay, I hope you get a bloody pay rise and it suits the ridiculous inflation that is going around the world right now. All jokes aside, though, thank you, Jovin, for your question. Regarding fight week schedules, that's what Anthony's going through right now. Send him a text, boys. Brian, shoot him a text to see if he can just send him a link and just say, can he jump on real quick? To answer your question, so yeah, I mean, obviously you got to make weight and you got to fight. But you got to get there, you check your weight, you sign posters, you got to do paperwork, you got to sign some contracts, you got to do what they call ENG, you know, that little bit before at the start of the show, and it cuts to, oh, I'm going to kick this guy's ass or whatever, you know, like on a pay-per-view, but still they call it ENG. You have to give some like sound bites to the camera. You have to look down the lens as if you're looking at the speaking to the TV audience, you know, say some things. You have to do the fighter meetings. You know, you have to speak to all the commentators and whatnot to give some information about your training camp, what your approach is going to be. It's go on. Sorry.
I was going to ask, like, that graphic of like where the guys are, they do it next to the tail of the tape where it's like the guys will like just be like a cutout of them will be standing. They'll be like shadow boxing and then turn to like face the other guy. Is that filmed week of every time?
That's filmed week of every single time. Yeah. You have to go there. You have to do your photo shoot as well. Then you got to do, you do your photo shoot, then you got to turn 45 degrees that way, then 45 degrees that way, and all that type of stuff. Then you got to do the shadow boxing and whatnot. They spray you down, get you all nice and glistening, and and the first few times you do it, it's very cool. You're like, oh, this is amazing. We've done it. We're here. We've hit the big show. But it is a distraction from the ultimate job at hand. But as me and Nancy were saying the other day, these are necessary evils. This is what it's all about. It's show business. Let's be honest, the product, the package is fighting. But what we're doing, it's entertainment. It's sport. Of course it's sport, but it's also entertainment as well. So you got all these bells and whistles that go with it that are a necessary evil. They have to be done, just like the media has to be done. Otherwise, no one knows about your fight. Listen, if you're a superstar like Conor McGregor, somebody like that, maybe you can do not a single interview. Maybe the fact that show a press conference like it almost looked like Nate Diaz does has that opposite effect where everyone talks about it. But generally, for mere mortals, you got to talk about it. You got to put it out there. You got to give the sound bites. You got to get people excited for it. So as I say, it's a necessary evil, and it's all part of every time you go into a fight. And this is the way I always used to be. You got to look at it as a separate business entity. This is a business, this fight, and I want it to be a successful venture. I want the gate to do well. I want the TV viewing figures to do well, because this all reflects you, and it all reflects back to what ultimately you're going to earn and what sponsors are going to pay you and how much the UFC are going to pay you. Because believe it or not, and as much, and I know I should get a t-shirt that says company man, because you all say it, but it's true. Believe it or not, the people that are pulling in numbers, the people that are a draw are getting paid. And that's why you don't hear a lot of those people bitching and complaining. So you got to do all these things. Yeah, it's a busy time.
One thing I thought was pretty cool, and with Anthony Smith's fight week specifically, rolling around in the Maybach with the champagne in the back, with the seats on the headrest. I mean, must be nice, right?
He's rolling around in a chauffeur-driven Bentley. It's not a Maybach; it's a Bentley.
That one's a Bentley. And then he also, last night I saw on his story, he got picked up in like the top of the line Mercedes Maybach too.
Yeah, it's a tough life. We'll just give a shout out to Gold Saints. That was his sponsor there. Hey, good for him. And he deserves it. And that's how you got to treat yourself. You got to treat yourself like a world champion. You got to think like a world champion. And you got to invest in yourself and in what you're doing. You got to believe it. And I know I'm going down Luke Rockhold's path, but it's so true. You have to, but you have to present the version. And this is not just in fighting, this is in anything. the person that you want people to think you are, you have to present that to the world. To the God, we were just talking about you there, Anthony. Talking about how you've changed. Talking about how you're rolling around in chauffeur-driven Bentleys.
It was a nice car for sure.
Dude, beautiful. We were literally just showing it there, and we gave your sponsors Gold Saint a shout out as well.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
God bless him. We were just saying. I was saying the reason you got to do that, and that's good, is because you gotta present the opportunity. So present the version of yourself to the world that you think you are, the world champion, and all the rest. It's all about the mindset. That said, how is the mind, Anthony? How's everything going?
I'm good, man. I'm really good. Things are going really well here. I'm actually just trying to get out of the hotel a little bit. So we're walking through the mall. Just hanging out a little bit, you know what I mean? I got my last hard workouts tonight and then the weight cut. I woke up this morning at 2:09, so I had a nice dinner last night, woke up at 2:09, so get that last hard workout, last part of the weight cut, man, and I'll be the first one on the scale.
3 pounds over. That's easy work, man.
Yeah, I really put the work in, man. I really did. And I know that, we talk about it a lot on the podcast, but now, like people are going to see it now, I'm excited.
How good does that feel, knowing that, number one, you haven't got this arduous weight cut to go through, but then secondly, you're going to take a punch better. Your cardio and stamina is going to be better, and that's a fact. I mean, how much confidence does that give you?
A lot of confidence, because even if worst case scenario happens, I know I can work through it because I haven't put my body through a grueling weight cut. I haven't. You don't want your hardest fight to be with the scale. And, I'm excited about that. And like I said, it just proves that, like, everything I've been saying about the work that I put in and how hard I push myself. I mean, I haven't missed a meal. I haven't held back any water. And it's just, my weight's just naturally coming down because of the shape that I'm in. Like you said, I'll be able to take a shot better. And I'm going to be able to push hard for 15 minutes. And I just don't think he can.
And it's a nice and early fight as well.
It is.
I had no idea. Super early.
Yeah. And that's even better, because then I can just hang out with my friends and family. I got my Uncle Todd and Melinda here, and we're just walking through the mall. I got my guys from UFC here.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at these guys. Look at these assholes. Anthony Smith walking around. He's got fucking chauffeur-driven Bentleys. He's got camera crews following him. Okay, he's fighting in the most prestigious events in the world. People say that I'm Hollywood. You Hollywood son of a bitch.
You've been Hollywood. I'm just trying to be like you.
Harrington and Brian, jump on, boys.
I'm telling you, my new goal, I got 2 new goals. I seen a pretty sweet Rolex earlier walking through the mall. I don't have a Rolex, so I got to get one. But also, I got to figure out how to get me one of those Mercedes Maybachs, because
that shit was so
nice.
Baller.
I didn't see that one. How much is one of the? What does it look like? I'll have to Google them. I don't know what a Mercedes Maybach looks like.
Like a spaceship.
Really?
It's amazing. But
how much is one of them?
They're like $350,000. So I got a minute.
No big deal.
Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. That's too much money. I'll never spend.
I just kept saying, when I win a title, I'm going to have one of these.
Hey, well, listen, you do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Man, we're so excited for you, Anthony. Oh, let's have a look at it. Put it on, Bri.
Oh, yeah, that's the inside of it. It's on my Instagram.
Look at that. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to keep you too long. You missed a good show today, Anthony. You missed one of them.
No, you guys get the good guests on.
Mike Perry was fucking insane in the best way. He was great. He was right, Harrington.
Oh man, Perry was the man.
That's all. Yeah, or you got Aljo and O'Malley.
Aljo, O'Malley,
there
Mike
for a second.
Perry.
Oh, you should have got Aljo and O'Malley on at the same time.
Well, we did. We did.
No.
And it wasn't planned. It was not planned. But like Aljo was like, he was awesome. What a great guest he was. And we were having a proper conversation. He was talking about his emotions and his feelings and his fiance and stuff like that. You could see he was getting a little emotional at times. And the conversation was just flowing. The time flew by.
And my dumbass just pulled Sean up without telling
O'Malley
anybody.
just pops on the screen. And O'Malley was a little bit annoyed because, not annoyed, but he was just like, whoa, hold on. You never told me about this. So I felt bad. I did.
Wow.
We needed you here, Anthony.
Yeah.
That's what it takes to replace you, Anthony. Mike Perry, Aljamain Sterling.
3 guests to just cover my
and people are still going to bitch about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're going to be like, can't take the time to come hang.
So where are you now? Are you in the mall of?
Yeah, I'm
Charlotte?
just in a mall. It's like 10 minutes from the hotel.
So what are you doing? Just having a stroll around? Just
walking around. I don't know. I was just thinking about maybe buying something, but it's like one of those things where you think you want to buy something, then I get here and I don't see anything I want, so just hanging out. I'm really just killing time till my weight cut.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a nice way to cut weight as well. Just gently stroll it off if you're watching.
Walk around.
If you're monitoring what you're putting in. Have you bumped into Walker?
Yeah, a bunch. Yeah. He hasn't said much. He shook my hand earlier today and didn't really say much. Actually, one of his coaches came up and introduced himself, and some real nice guy from Ireland. So yeah, but he's around.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. Well, listen, we'll leave you to it, Anthony. We don't want to take up too much of your time. We'll be doing a live. We'll be doing a watch along. We're doing a fight companion. We're going to be watching. We're going to be in the octagon with you, just so you know.
Hopefully, I can grab my phone as soon as I fight, and I'll jump on your live stream.
Oh my God.
That would be spectacular, dude.
Oh my God.
So you got to send me a link or.
Ryan, absolutely.
You're the mastermind. You let me know. I usually grab my phone right away. So as soon as I'm done,
you're getting a fucking link. Hey, brother. Right, listen, we'll let you go. We're going to listen. We're nervous for you. We're excited for you. You're going to do fantastic. You go out. You're the better fighter. You're the better technical guy. You've got more experience. You got the better analytical mind. You're a better striker, wrestler, jiu-jitsu, far more experience. Go out there, fight your fight. Better chin. There you go.
Yeah,
better fucking.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the shit out of you guys. And
good luck, man.
And I'll see you guys on the other side.
Let's go, brother.
All right,
all the best, Anthony. All the best,
Mike.
man.
Take
it easy, bro. Take care. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is a marathon episode of the Believe You Me podcast. Harrington and Brian, thank you very much. You guys send questions into bympod@gmail.com. If you haven't subscribed and rung the bell, then what is your goddamn problem? We'll be back on Monday with Anthony, who is victorious, and Saturday, last time, live watch along Fight Companion. Me and Rebecca, Harrington, Brian, jump on the screen and say goodbye to the people. And then that's about it. We got 5 seconds.
Enjoy Anthony Smith's fight, noon Eastern on Saturday.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye.